share your thoughts. Help us break down this mystery. Grab a seat, we guarantee you're in wonderful company, unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E. Unraveling these mysteries with Mr. and Mrs. E.
Welcome to the Mystery Crimecast, everybody. I am Mr. E. I'm joined tonight by Mrs. E and Auntie. How are you doing, Auntie? Can you hear me okay?
I can. I could not watch the video though. It kept cutting out on me, but it was working on my phone, so I know it was continuing to work. So I don't know if it's my signal or what.
Okay, so the intro, but I think everybody else was able to hear the music because I heard people commenting on it, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I'd like to welcome everybody in. We've got at least a couple of moderators in here so far, Lady Tit for Tat and Merlina. We appreciate you helping us out here tonight. Lots of folks already and a couple of new members. If we could go ahead and acknowledge those, that'd be great.
I'm looking for them.
I see one here.
You go ahead.
We had Kitty Catty was a new member tonight.
Kitty Catty's one, and there was one right at the beginning, I think.
Right at the beginning, yes.
Welcome in, Kitty Catty. We appreciate you, and Pamela Hale, also a new member. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate all of that support, and a ton of folks in here already. Miss Sharon is awesome. That is true. So we've got folks, Kendra from Massachusetts, and Fly Girl, good evening to everyone. Teresa, BJ Boop, Metal Lass. Okay. Maybe time to up the
maybe clean your
magnification.
glasses.
Maybe clean those. I know I always have the dirtiest readers.
My StreamYard's all weird. It's dark.
And mine's not working super great either. Hello to Seth. Welcome in tonight, Don B.
Hi, Seth and Don B. Appreciate you guys being here.
It's a couple people are saying Mr. E's volume is a little low.
My volume is low, so maybe.
Oh wait. Try to get closer to your mic.
Maybe I'm just too.
And just so you know,
yeah.
Granny just also texted in, Mr. E is low.
All right, I'm probably just too far from the mic. I can already hear it better.
That's better.
In my head, so let me just the camera a bit. Yeah, so you might have noticed we've got new microphones. So we have upgraded the microphones here. I think we're going to be happier with these. They sound better on my end. Okay, so somebody said like when we first started. That's fine. Yeah, I know. Sound those first 5 or 10 streams we had, we all, like every single one, we would have some kind of sound issue. That was always the issue. So some people are saying I'm still a little low. So I will just
how about now? Have them check it now. Sounds good to me.
All right, let's try this. So if I'm just right
low.
into the mic.
Here, I know.
Okay. This actually took us a little bit today.
Now talk.
Okay, so we'll do a little test here. I'm just going to talk for a moment, just saying kind of nonsense, nothing in particular. Some folks are saying still low. Penny saying sounds good to her. Okay, so Don B is saying with these mics, you do have to be kind of close. So it might be Might just take me a little time to get used to
It-
that.
Somebody said only Mr. E girls are good.
Only me. Okay.
That's
How about-
better when you get closer, for
All
sure.
right. So if I well, Zuzu's Pedals is saying, okay, so it just depends.
Everyone's saying better.
Okay, it's getting better.
Okay, I'll keep working on it. You keep talking.
All right.
Harley Ryder says, there you go. So it must be much better.
Yeah, and there might be a delay when people are typing for when it went through,
Okay.
Okay,
I think it's good.
So most everybody's saying it's pretty good. So we'll check back here in about 5 minutes, and so if some folks are saying, but it's probably us. We worked with these. Took a while to get this set up today. We had to. Yeah, the sound stuff is unbelievably complicated for all of us, but that's definitely one of the toughest things to deal with. I get the camera since I'm moving a little closer here.
That's good.
Well, welcome in everybody. We appreciate y'all being here tonight. I want to give you kind of an idea. Actually, before we get into all of that, Auntie, can we do an update on our nephew here?
Yes, he had an MRR scan on his arm today, and I think he's going to try to go back to work tomorrow. I hope. He's getting really bored at home and wants to get back in. The doctor recommended being off all week, but he's going to try to go tomorrow. So he's kind of winding up on his doctor's appointments, but continuing to improve. Stitches are out of his head now, and
Good.
and he's improving. It was kind of traumatic though, so he's still got some residual trauma. I think just from the whole incident was kind of scary, but he's doing much better. So I really want to thank everybody for all the thoughts and prayers and checking in with me, because it means a lot.
Did he ever go unconscious?
Yes, he was unconscious, but he was also he was seizing after he hit his head. He had like a grand mal seizure, and he was unconscious for probably 30 seconds or so. His wife said, she just had to keep him, focused on her and everything right after it happened. But after that, he actually wanted to jump up and run around, and so they were kind of scared that he was going to hurt himself further, because he was very disoriented as to what happened. He doesn't remember anything other than being next to his suitcase and then on the ground.
Oh wow, yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wanted to point out Hindsight 2002. If you're not familiar with that channel, I don't know who Hindsight is, but it's a great channel. They've been doing a really good job of just pulling out various clips from the past and relevant information. The last few have been involving like RICO and what injunction. So, but they're really short clips that they're putting together. So a great little place to go and get some quick knowledge or refresher on different interviews as they relate to current events within this case or information, if that makes sense. So I definitely would. That is a channel I check out every day. So I would recommend that. So thank you for being here, Hindsight. I appreciate the work you're doing there. Let's see, we've got other folks in here too. Just want to say hello to HM Hands and Becky. Mischief all around me. I think somebody might have said that BHB might be in here also. Sam, I am MVP. Peggy, Calgal. Appreciate you all being here.
Grandma Chachi. I think it's Chachi.
Yes. And we do appreciate all the prayers for Nephew E. I don't know. He doesn't have an official nickname yet, I don't guess. So
He's E-Dog.
Well, let's go E-Dog. Okay, that kind of fits the crime dog thing
He's
too.
the original E.
Yeah.
He is the
That is
original.
true. That's true. So let's so I wanted to mention that, and another creator I wanted to mention was what's that?
This is funny. Where's Summer 1-800-TBI Fine says, I'm calling Mr. E's wife Mama E. She looks like a Mama E to me. So you're Mr. E, Mama E, and Auntie E. That sounds great
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah. Sounds
I've
good.
been called Mama for a real long time. So that works out.
Yeah. So another creator I want to mention. I haven't seen her in here yet. I don't know if she's going to come in tonight, but Spirit Seeker Squad is a channel. They do some true crime, a little bit of paranormal, kind of a combination of both, but do great videos, and I love her personality. So she does great work too. But she did a video off our last video where she took a couple of she took basically some of me reading the documents and also and edited it with the relevant documents, pointing out some of the. Just did a really great job with the editing, and then got into the part where we were reading Seth's, sworn statement that was submitted, and during that she has this kind of like montage of videos of Sebastian and pictures and this kind of thing, and it was really, really touching and well done. Heartbreaking a little bit actually too, and then that
Mhm.
she finished the video with some of her own commentary on the events and everything. So um, she's been always very supportive of our channel, and I wanted to mention that one also. So Spirits Seeker Squad is someone to check out. That video in particular was fantastic. I would recommend that as well.
And Ginger Girl gifted 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Ginger Girl, please tell her thank you. And thank you, Ginger Girl. You're always so supportive, and we appreciate you so much. We really do.
Yes,
It
thank you, Ginger Girl.
looks like Tony Mathis got one. Let's see.
Tony
Oh wait,
can-
no, he wasn't. He was already a member, I guess. Okay, Kristen got it, and Mischief All Around. Ellen Mary O'Malley and Wannabe Sleuth and Something. Congratulations.
That's a great name.
I
Wannabe
know.
Sleuth and Something.
Yeah, that's a
That's
great
very
name.
funny. Very good. Well, thank you, Ginger Girl. That everyone appreciates that.
Yes, thank you. Oh, and Pamela Hale. Oh my gosh, you guys are the sweetest.
Starting off
Oh, wow.
awesome.
Thank you so much, Pamela Hale. That's amazing.
Thank you, Pamela.
That you guys never cease to amaze me. You we appreciate it so much. And actually, for our new members and for Pamela, I'd like to tell Pamela thank you. We appreciate you, Pamela. I'm getting a little better. My voice sounds a little better than it did the
Does
other
sound
night.
better.
And welcome to our new crime dogs.
So I kind of want to go over what we're planning on tonight here a little bit. So we're going to kind of do just a little bit of the overall discussion we're going to have is going to be on some of the exhibits. We're not going to go through all of them because all of them, really aren't worth a lot of discussion. Just kind of the ones that has some relevant information that we think will be important with that case going in. Some of that evidence is things like, old newspaper articles and old news segments and things like that. We don't have to go through all of those kinds of things, but some of it we thought would be of interest, had some new information, and would be great topics for discussion and kind of understanding of what kind of case they're trying to present. So we will go into that a little bit later. Here at the beginning, we're just I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about just some of the discussions that have happened over the last few days since this whole thing came out. There's lots of questions and debate. All been really interesting, I think, to hear. And yeah, so what?
Just go ahead and do that.
Yeah, so what I'd like to do actually, I want to start with this. I think.
Oh, sure.
What I'm going to do, I want to read a comment we got from a past video. It was actually maybe 3 or 4 back, and I've been meaning to read it for the last 2 or 3 live streams. I reached out to her, asked her, "Do you mind if I read this on our stream?" And if you don't ever, I read all the comments. In Seashore Annie, she's in the UK, so she rarely catches our streams live, but she always leaves these really beautifully written, thoughtful comments. I'm at a point where every time we finish a stream, I can't wait to see the Seashore Annie comment because it's always it's like it's an art what she does. And so I reached out to her and asked her, "Hey, do you mind if I just read some of your comment on the stream?" And she was great with that. So I'm just going to read. I'm not going to read all of it. It is lengthy what she writes, but anyway, these comments were about the stream we did on the most recent court hearing with Bullhorn Betty. So this is in regards to that, and this is maybe into the second paragraph. So from Seashore Annie, not only has Sebastian lost his voice, it now appears they are trying to silence his dear father's voice too via Betty. I have no doubt at all in my mind that Betty will fight this ruling, and she will fight to the bitter end, not just for herself, but for every man, woman, and child, for our rights, for our freedoms. Outside of jail, law-abiding citizens should not be surrounded by bars and traps in the free world, and yet they are popping up everywhere unlawfully. And we need people like Betty to fight to have them removed. This fight is for every child's future, too. It is for all our futures. Dark days in history always return, and so consequently, they are overthrown. But to overthrow takes actual effort. I have been watching this creeping shadow get bigger and blacker over the last 30 years. We must not allow it to continue to block out the sun. When that happens, we all know the consequences. Some are now celebrating by taking part in a well publicized rain dance. Have you ever witnessed a section of society sing and dance as they see the tank heading straight towards them at speed, yet still they sing and dance, unable to see the global catastrophe and unable to see the consequences will affect them and their freedoms too, yet still they dance? Their memories are short. There is nothing to celebrate as Sebastian Rogers, a precious child, is still missing. To announce the rain dance so loudly across the globe and invite others to celebrate with you in this prolonged event, you must be certain of your timings. Sadly for them, the party will be short lived as they didn't research or even glance back at history to notice it is not rainy season yet. This is merely a small rain shower, not a deluge. Look, rainbows. I doubt they even understand how a rainbow is formed, yet they see this court case ruling as a victory. Lord, help them, for they know not what they have done. To those celebrating, I suggest they step away from the screen, go outside, and look up to the sky. Isn't it beautiful? The conditions aren't right for a party, and they never will be until Sebastian is brought home to his father's arms. I don't believe they ever enjoyed lessons. And yeah, it does go on, but that's just
It's beautiful.
it's all very very well done. I wanted to go a little further into it, but there's another section where she says, "We all witnessed the light in the darkness in the early hours of February 26, 2024. That date is etched in our minds and on our hearts. Sebastian Rogers now stands as a beacon of light across the world. Sebastian's beacon is far brighter and more powerful than that of the person who scurried back towards the house that night carrying a dull form of light. Sebastian is a child, an innocent child. He represents every child on earth, especially children with autism and complex needs. I pray that his name will continue to spread across the globe and keep igniting flames in the heart of every parent. And I pray every new person who hears about the atrocities of this case join us in this fight for justice, this very special boy and his father Seth. Far too many children of every race vanish. We are a choir. Now sing louder and please pick up a pen and write letters." So anyway, there is more to that, but anytime
Wow.
anytime you go on our comment section, you have to check out the Seashore. Any comments, go back on old lives we've done. And anyway, everything she writes is beautiful like that. I don't know what her profession is, but it must be with the written word, because it's always powerful that way.
I think it's J.K. Rowling.
That's what I was going to say.
This is her pen name. Yeah. So
Just kidding.
yeah. Anyway,
No,
so
but it's beautiful. Actually, it made me tear up, but that's not a shocker. Not a shocker if I'm tearing up.
Two lives in a row. We got you there.
Well,
But anyway, so I thought that was very well said, kind of about the situation, in a very poetic kind of way. And so as you all know, we've been covering that part of the case. There's this RICO situation and Bullhorn Betty situation coming up. Bullhorn Betty's next court appearance would be November 20th. But she is going to try and push this forward toward appeal, which I think is a great idea, because I think for a number of reasons. And she is doing a GoFundMe. It took her a few days to set it up, because she wanted to make sure that everything was legal and done the proper way. With everything that goes on out here on YouTube, you have to make sure that it's all set up correctly. And so I don't ever ask for people to do donate money, things like that. It's not something we're comfortable doing. We don't, it's just not our way. I never ask you to buy memberships and stuff like that, just because it's hard for me. It's just not my kind of style. But this situation, I think, if you do have a few extra dollars this year to help contribute to this, I would appreciate that. I know Bullhorn Betty would appreciate it, and I'll give you a couple of reasons why I would like to do that. One is I do believe that this was an injustice. I don't think the ruling was fair in a number of different ways. I don't. There's a variety of ways that I don't think that this should have happened. It never should have gotten to that point anyway, but it did, and this is where we're at. And so I believe that she does have a chance to win on the appeal. When she goes to the appeal, she will be out of Sumner County. She'll be in Nashville, essentially, in Davidson County. And there are a variety of arguments that could be effective in getting this overturned. The appeals process is really kind of different than that hearing. They won't review the evidence. It'll be more on the technical side, which was what the whole point was from her attorney's argument going in, was that several things were not done properly. And I believe there might be a few others since. So I think she's got a fair chance at being able to overturn it. And if not, she would be very likely, if she goes back into the criminal court, I think there's a very good chance she might spend, a significant amount of time in a jail on those 6 charges. So we're going to share the link here. I do think this is the First Amendment also, which you all know that I believe strongly in that. I don't. I believe she was silenced for her opinions more than being any kind of actual threat. So I would appreciate that. And then one of the other reasons that I want to do this is and we all had to agree to do this, but another reason we would appreciate that is I know there's no doubt in my mind that if I or any of the 3 of us were in a similar situation, I know that Bullhorn Betty would do the same for me. I don't doubt that at all. Do you have anything you want to add, or is that kind of
Um,
you're
sorry,
probably doing more of the production stuff
I
over
am
there?
doing the production stuff,
But
but I agree with you. If something like this were happening to us or other people in the community, I do believe that Betty would probably have already done 3 or 4 streams about it.
yes, and I don't want to.
Excuse
Yeah, I no, I don't doubt that at all. I know she would have. She's always I don't know, kind of an idealist, I would say. And she believes in justice and that type of thing, and that's part of why she's the advocate that she is. She has that's kind of her worldview. So I don't doubt that at all, that she would do the same for us. So if you can, we would appreciate that. Looks like it's going okay. It's only been, when did it start? A day, 2 days
Few
ago.
days ago, just a
Yeah,
couple days
so
ago.
she's getting a lot of
Yeah.
support already. She's almost at 3,000. These appeals, it'll probably land somewhere in that 20 to 30,000 range, I would guess. So, but it's moving along. So that's great.
And it doesn't have to be some big amount. Looking at, we've got 781 in chat. If each of you donated $1, that would be $781 more, or to help along with that. And we would appreciate it if you help her out, and I know she would appreciate it. So,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
there's some negative comments in chat, and this is our choice. Nobody
Yeah.
asked us to do this. This was something we wanted to do.
No, we've been talking about this for a few days.
Yes,
About doing that. So anyway, and if you don't, that's
that's
okay.
okay too.
You're all still everyone's still welcome here. We're it's nothing we're
It's a
gonna.
personal choice, but we would like you to consider it if you want.
Anyway,
So,
we all choose our battles and who to support, and this is something we felt strongly about. So let's is there anything else before we kind of get into the next thing?
no, I've just got her link pinned at the top of the chat if anybody needs it. And I would like to go ahead and mention Sebastian's next rally and vigil,
Yes,
if you
I'm
don't
glad
mind.
yeah, let's go ahead and
Let's
do
go
that.
ahead and do that if you don't mind.
Yeah, what you do at the beginning and at the end, just
Yeah, just give me a second. You all talk to people in chat for a minute while I get it all together.
Sure. I mean, it looks like the chat's pretty lively with lots of lots of questions and thoughts already. Yeah, it looks like I'm probably missing some. Oh, hi, War Damn Eagle, Car Guy, Real Me Too. I don't know if I said hi to you. I saw you a little earlier, but thanks for coming in
We've
here.
got a lot
Also,
of our favies
K
in
Mac.
here.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a lot of mods coming in now. But good to see you, K Mac, and you're one of the best. We always appreciate you too.
Yes, and I don't even believe I think she's like at a convention and helping out.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I was.
Yes, and Reality Wins, welcome in. Got a secret, you can keep it. Misty Fisher's here, welcome. Karen S. Bad Actors have donated. Thank you, Bad Actors. I'm sure Betty will appreciate that. I think she needs all the help she can get at this point. So anything helps, and we appreciate you for doing that.
So another way we can be showing support here is, of course, the vigils, and Seth is and Tony are organizing another one for November 9th. It's a ride and prayer vigil. I know some of you listen. I that's how I do YouTube channels also. So I'm going to read what the flyer says for those of you that are doing this kind of more like a podcast rather than something to watch. But it is a ride and prayer vigil. It's November 9th at 2 p.m. in honor of Sebastian Rogers. And then it says, we warmly invite everyone in the community and surrounding to a ride followed by a prayer vigil for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian was last seen on September 25th, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is a time to raise awareness, bridge our differences, and embrace the power of prayer. Motorcycles, Jeeps, and all vehicles welcome. The ride and meet is at 2 p.m. Kickstands up at 3 p.m. Is at 1188 Cumberland Drive, Clarksville, Tennessee. And then the prayer vigil at the conclusion of the ride is at the same location at 1188 Cumberland Drive in Clarksville, Tennessee. And Sebastian's Army, Sebastian Strong, Sebastian Home. And then it looks like Jacob's Audible, which was a autism charity that we met the guy that was running that.
He
So it was a great guy, and he spoke at the vigil as well.
He's a wonderful speaker too.
So yeah, if you can make that, I know Seth appreciates it, and it's a great way to kind of connect with people that have been in support of Sebastian, and come in your green, hang out at the place that it's at. It's like a
It's
like
not at the same place.
oh, it's not.
No,
Oh, I assume that address
no,
is the same.
no, it's not.
Okay, so what is this location? Do we know?
Not sure. I just know it's not at the same location.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a different location.
Okay, well we'll find that out later on.
Also, our friend Brittany J came in. Welcome, Brittany J. And I saw Don B earlier. I'm not sure if we acknowledged him. We always love when Don B comes to visit. And
Yeah, hi Brittany, thanks for coming in.
yes, hi Brittany. We stole your idea. We decided that we were going to get better microphones, and
We did. You inspired us on the
it
microphones.
took us from I think 5 o'clock till right before the show started to get them set up properly. So we can actually be in the same room on different mics without having an echo. So we're super excited about that. Oh, it looks like Lolly's here too. Welcome in, Lolly. And
Hello.
Rockin' Rhonda, thank you for your membership. She had posted her a few minutes ago. She posted her, I forget what it's called, but you get a special posting every month when you're a member. And she had posted that, and I forgot to say something earlier because you were talking. I didn't want to interrupt. So thank you, Rockin' Rhonda. We appreciate you. And look what War Eagle did. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you so much, War Eagle. That is so nice of you. War Eagle has gifted 10 memberships.
Thank you,
If
War
you
Eagle.
got
We
a
appreciate that.
membership from War Eagle, please tell War Eagle. Thank you. And War Eagle, we appreciate you. And we do look forward to your videos. I have to be honest.
Yeah,
They're
she does.
very entertaining.
Yeah.
And then also we had let's see. Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. Mockery Mania says, God bless the E family, BHB, Seth, and many more, Sebastian Strong. Well, thank you so much for that super chat.
Thank
That
you
was
very
very sweet of you. And yes, God bless all the people. A little kindness in the world, and we appreciate it. Sorry. I feel weird because I can hear my voice now.
It sounds different to us.
Does it sound different
Yeah.
to you? Is
Yeah.
it a
It's
good
better.
different or a bad
You
different?
guys sound great to me. It sounds much clearer and and crisper.
Yeah.
I bet my joke was when we were practicing it, I was like, "Hi, crime junkies." That was my joke.
Yes. It
because
does feel like
it
we-
feels like that we're more
I
professional.
know we've got the
in a
arm
weird
bar
way.
thing. I
Well, we've
know.
had the arm bars, we just didn't use them.
Yeah.
But
But because we were sharing the one mic.
yeah, but now that we figured out how to have a mic in the same room, you can also hear a stutter a lot easier too, which is weird. So when we our words get tripped up.
Okay. So allegedly, with Brittany says it's fantastic. Our audio is so good. So that's good too.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was great. When you upgraded your mic, it's like, man, this is really good. So
Mhm.
it matters, the
It's like
quality
butter.
matters. So Auntie will get jealous, and she'll have to get a mic too, right?
I've got a mic. It just
I
not.
know.
Mine's just not on a stand like that. Mine's kind of. It's
Well,
not on a stand,
the
but it's not,
stands are only like $20.
yeah, I've got it. I've got one.
know.
It's just not quite as fancy.
Oh, and Kelly the OG asked if anyone had seen the press conference. I think we'll discuss that here just shortly. Since there was not a press conference today.
Right. So there's kind of like a little kind of various news items like that. So we could just start with that. I know a lot of people were looking for that news conference this afternoon. But if you follow Nik on X, that's the best place really to keep up with him. Sometimes he doesn't post on YouTube or other places, but he always posts there. And according to Nik, there were some security issues, and then also potential marching band or something that somebody was trying to organize. I'm not quite sure.
I don't know if that was a rumor or what was,
Yeah, I looked in the comments on that, and some people were saying, "Oh, I think that was a rumor or not real." I don't know what that was all about, but anyway, it looked like there might be some issue with trying to disrupt the press conference. So I guess that's on pause for now. That's hilarious, Tony. For Auntie's
Oh.
mic stand.
It's funny, Tony. You think we share with Auntie. So that's what's funny. No, of course. We will give that over to Aunt E so she can get a mic.
Yeah, we'll
stand.
upgrade her stuff too.
Yes. We want her to sound like butter like we do.
Well, somebody said I sounded very crystal clear.
You do sound crystal clear.
Oh.
I don't know. It feels fancy. There's something fancy about this. I don't know why. It feels fancy.
So Karen says Smiley, I'm assuming for
Aw.
Smiley's World, did a beautiful tribute to her mom today. Smiley's
my
mom passed
stars.
away recently. She is hurting. Please send some love. Thank
Oh,
you.
of course.
Yeah,
Thank you for letting us know, Karen.
Yeah, let's
take a quick prayer. You want to do a quick prayer for
Yeah,
Sebastian
yeah.
and for Smiley's mom
yes, absolutely.
and for Smiley?
Well, that's awful to hear. What a sweet lady she sings like, right? The Smiley's World lady. I don't know her at all, but her personality
Look.
just comes across. Oh, which phrase did we use?
I say crystal clear.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
I'm glad that you guys can laugh at that because that I'll tell you, it's going to replace some of those kid side eyes that are in the memes.
That was the best side eye ever.
Yeah.
Aw. Brittany J, you did not have to do that.
Well,
Thank you so much.
Brittany. You guys are amazing. I'm proud to call you my friends. Well, it's been great to
Aw.
get to know you too, and we appreciate you as well. And yeah, well, I always enjoy listening to your show, and but thank you. We do appreciate that.
I'm sorry, Live Thankful. We don't do a panel that we are
No, I think she
family-
means an iPhone link to join
Oh.
the membership.
Okay. I thought you meant like to get on
come up.
panel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, I can do that for you. Just give me 1 second. I'm the person that's responsible for all of the tech. So I have 2 other people who do nothing.
I'm responsible for the jibber jabber and pen and paper, pretty much.
Yes, you
That's
are.
pretty much my job.
So
And Live Thankful, thank you so much for your super chat, and she'll get that in the comments.
I will. I'll put it in the Actually, that's so funny. I can do that really easily, and I forgot how to do it. Let's see. I think it's like this. You guys can't hear me type anymore either, so that works out even better.
Yeah,
before you could hear me type.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how you do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't hear me
the
type
typing
anymore.
Okay, well, that's good too.
It's all good. It's all good. Okay. Yes, there's the link to join. And thank you so much for your super chat. Uh-oh. Seth gave us the side eye. Seth, don't make me play it. Because I do have it separate than the machete karate. So I do have it separate. Heck, let's play it.
Which one are you playing?
I'm just going to play the Seth look. I love it.
Just the look.
It's just a classic.
It didn't
It's
go
the best.
It
It
is.
is the best. It is just one of those.
It is the
It's
best.
just one of those.
Oh, Karen, we're getting spoiled now. We have to have 1,000 likes before we'll play Machete Karate.
Yeah, I think it's a good celebration of the of that. So,
we don't have 1,000 in chat, so I don't know if that's going to happen tonight.
probably not. Well, people come and go. You know how
Yeah,
it
that's
goes.
true.
People come and go.
That's true.
So maybe later on it'll happen.
We have a new member, and it is Live Thankful. Thank you so much, Live Thankful. We appreciate you. Thank you for becoming a member. And since Mr. E is not into anything big talking yet, where I have to interrupt him, I'll go ahead and welcome you to the Crime Dogs. Aunt E does have the trivia format, but she had doctor appointments today and stuff. So we're going to give her a little bit longer.
Yes, I should be able to get them done tomorrow.
Yeah, we need to get it done this week. So what we do with our members is we have we try to have a monthly trivia. So we're going to have to do something else special for the members this month. And we do giveaways, and we've got some really cool.
What if we would, since we're kind of behind on maybe just also do like a members chat or something?
I think that'd be great. I think it'd be great where the members could even come up on, on a private panel where we can all just talk.
Do you think that
I think we could do that.
Would you all like that if we do that also?
Also, one of the prizes,
just kind of once in a while, do a members only, just kind of where we can just talk about stuff.
Lady Tit for Tat donated one of the prizes. It's an evidence bag.
Yeah.
If it's not
cute.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Like a little zipper at the top,
It's so cute. And I technically wanted to keep it. So, but no, she sent me one too. I'm just kidding.
But I just wanted to say thank you, Char, for donating to Betty there. And I also want to welcome Sharon for becoming a member.
You got me choked.
Somebody
texted me.
The comments are covering up Aunt E.
Oh, sorry. You know what?
Yeah,
I would rather them cover up me. How about that?
Well, can we flip maybe move the comments to the right, or move our video to the right?
No.
You just prefer to be covered.
We just can't. So,
we can take the vigil thing down now, and
yeah,
we'll put it back up at the end just as a reminder.
And I did post it in our community comments or our community post section so that you guys could see it there as well.
And thank you, Butterfly Kisses. On behalf of Betty, I appreciate you doing that.
Yes, we do appreciate it, and I'm sure Betty appreciates it as well. It's going to be a difficult thing, and she needs all the help she can get. Oh my gosh, you guys, this jumped up like $400 or $500.
Oh wow!
Amazing!
Wow,
you guys are amazing.
Thank you so much for that. I'm sure she's thankful too. And
49 people just donated. Thank you, 49 people who just donated. That's amazing.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, yeah, that's great. That's great. That's going to help her get there, because it's when the process she's going to go through, it's like multiple hearings. So it's one of those things that gets you like 2,000 here or 2,500 there for her to get through the process. So us kind of jump starting that, and as a community, that all helps her to kind of get through these first few phases that she's got to do, and then so thank you so much for doing that.
And welcome, K9. This is Jules, the
hi,
K9
Jules.
handler. Thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you.
Welcome. We're going to probably be reading your evidence tonight. We're going to go through the exhibits, and we're going to do yours. Is that all okay? Still do the exhibits and everything?
We can still do whatever. Yeah, whatever you want. I know you want to show this WKRN. I'm aware of that. So, I'm going to work on that next. And welcome to Jules, and welcome to Sharon. I'll just
let me know when you're ready on that, and I'm going to kind of just go through some updates on some other stuff.
Sure.
What she's going to pull up is going to be the WKRN news story that some of you may or may not have seen that came out tonight. It's a local news station about this whole lawsuit and everything. But before that, yesterday.
Thank you, Jules. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Jules. That's very kind of you.
Oh, and CJ's here. It always throws me when it's because he's really not evil at all.
Well, it's supposed to be like Ville, like a Ville, I think, right? Like village.
Evil.
I don't know. I think he's a sweet person.
I heard him somewhere talk about the origin of the name. It's not supposed to be evil, like with one L. It has something to do with a city.
Evansville?
Maybe something like that. I can't remember what it was. I heard it a while back.
Oh, that makes sense.
But yeah, so that's why. But everybody always thinks it's evil, CJ.
Evil Knievel, maybe.
Yeah.
That's funny. He'll have to explain it to us sometime.
Okay, here. This is what it is. He says it's Everywhereville. So it's like E for
and somebody
Everywhereville.
sent us a Cash App, and I'm not supposed to say who it's from. That was very sweet.
Oh, well, Thank you. You don't have. Oh,
Well, only
appreciate
one
it.
person has our Cash App. So
Oh.
if you can imagine who that might be. So thank you for that person who doesn't want to be named.
Don't even know who that is, but it's
Oh,
okay. It's
okay.
okay. We'll talk later.
I'll tell you later. And then no, it's not Tony Mathis or Seth Rogers. Just to answer everybody's question. It's a member.
Yes. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. So if you saw yesterday, Nik The Hat on I don't know, was that on? I'm not sure if that was on X or where he posted it. I saw it on
I
YouTube.
think it was actually YouTube,
Oh, it was on YouTube.
but I think he posted it on
what?
X, but it was a YouTube video.
What are we looking
I see.
Oh, do you want to go over Nick's video or
I was just going to discuss it while you were pulling up the news thing.
Oh, I have to find the news thing. Hold on.
Right.
Okay.
So if you did see that yesterday, he did about a 5-minute video, and
Did you text it to me?
no, I didn't. But it's on. They have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
So if you do WKRN on YouTube, it'll come up. But anyway, he mentioned that he was going to.
Sorry.
He's going to be filing these kind of, or not he, but I guess at night, or the attorneys will be filing 10 more lawsuits in various states, and I'm not sure which other states it is. The only two he mentioned were, I think, California and Tennessee, outside of Pennsylvania. So potentially 7 other states besides that. So it looks like this is.
Sorry.
It looks like they're going to try to bring this whole argument all at once, or at least pretty soon. That appears to be the plan there. I don't think we've heard really much from him today, or anything else, or from Dog or anything like that. So that's kind of the latest as far as that investigative group goes. They're just kind of at the legal phase, it appears, of their plan. And do you have the video already?
I do have it. Give me 1 second.
Was there anything else about Nick's video that you wanted to? Did you? I assume you watched it, Auntie.
Oh yeah, I watched it a couple of times actually because I just thought it was interesting that he talked about the other states and that they were, that it was. He mentioned it being civil but working toward federal. He did mention that as well. I thought that was interesting. But if you haven't seen it, I would recommend going and watching it because he does have a lot of information in it, even though it's just a quick little video.
Oh, Everywhereville.
Yeah. That's what it was. I knew he had explained it a month or two ago, and I couldn't remember.
I know, but I just read it evil, and I know he's not evil. He's a very kind person.
Yeah, no, I know he is, and but I've heard a couple people before. Oh, I don't know, he's got evil in his name, and it's like no, it's like a city, like Ville.
And Autumn Light 7109 BTW became a new member. Welcome, Autumn.
Thank you,
appreciate you. Real quick, I'm just doing the fast version. There we go. Welcome to the Crime Dogs. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Autumn.
And let's see. Okay, I think I am ready when you are.
Yeah. This should be about 3 minutes or so.
Okay. Let's see. All right, let me know if you guys have any trouble hearing it, okay?
Our missing teenager are going back to court.
Dog, the bounty hunter, and Sebastian Rogers' father filed an injunction against 2 social media influencers in Pennsylvania. They claim the YouTuber and TikToker are obstructing the search for Sebastian Rogers. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry breaks down statements included in this lawsuit.
An 18-page injunction backed by a 323-page list of exhibits and testimonies was filed last Friday. The plaintiffs include Dog the Bounty Hunter, Sebastian Rogers' father, Seth, and the father's spokesperson, Tony Mathis, as well as YouTuber Andrew Griffin. The lawsuit alleges 2 influencers, a YouTuber and TikToker, created a, quote, coordinated campaign of cyber harassment, false allegations, and witness intimidation. The lawsuit ties back to the search for missing Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. He was last seen in February at his family home in Hendersonville. Dog the Bounty Hunter joined the search for Sebastian in September and added $75,000 to the reward for information, now totaling $125,000. The plaintiffs claim the influencers encourage their subscribers to flood tip lines, and law enforcement with false reports have threatened Dog the Bounty Hunter and other searchers, allegedly slowing down critical travel and coordination for search efforts. A spokesperson for Sebastian's father said one of the influencers threatened to, quote, take him down, while Sebastian's dad wrote, quote, I'm fighting against a coordinated group of individuals who seem more interested in destroying me than helping to find my boy. He went on to say, quote, if my son dies out there, they'll have blood on their hands. The lawsuit urges the influencers to stop any disparaging comments about the plaintiffs, remove any previous video content doing so, and ask their subscribers to follow their example. A press conference was scheduled for today in Pennsylvania, where the influencers live, to address the filed lawsuit. But according to At Night Private Intelligence Agency, the conference was postponed due to, quote, reports of individuals arranging for a marching band to interrupt the conference, along with other suspicious messages.
In a letter included in the court documents, the lawyer for the YouTuber writes the allegations are, quote, baseless and without legal foundation. News 2 reached out to all parties involved and has not heard back. If you have any information to the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers, you can find a list of numbers to call on our website at WKRN.com.
I'm going to take just 1 minute to explain
nobody
why
wants to
your
see that.
contribution
Okay,
right
hold on.
now is so important.
It's not. Okay, sorry.
All right. So,
Okay.
so that's making the news again, and yeah. So that's kind of the local news interpretation of that, and like we always say, this kind of thing getting out there, it affects public perception, and
Do you,
Yeah.
we have a super chat. Did you
Oh,
want to
sure.
acknowledge it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I think it's Tammy says Seth has a 501c3 called Rogers Homestead. Wonder why he hasn't made that public. Do you find that a little weird? Well, me personally, no, I don't find that a little weird. When people are starting nonprofits, they often do not publicize them till they're ready to publicize them. And it's my understanding, I heard many months ago that Seth had a really beautiful idea with helping autistic children. So, that would be Seth would be the person to speak on that. But what I was told about it, it sounded like a beautiful idea. And I hope that his 501c3 works out. And I hope he's able to do what he's dreaming of doing. So, do you agree?
Well,
Yeah,
and that's not uncommon for them not to tell, to publicize them when they're not quite ready to be publicized. I mean, there takes
Right.
it's a lot. It's a huge
It's a
undertaking.
long process.
It's a long process and a huge undertaking because,
Yeah.
as you know, we've looked into that as well. And I've gotten plans and draft plans.
Yes,
for,
we have.
for one, just like, very
Very
similar.
similar. Hmm.
And we'd actually talked about it, but it is something that does take a long time, and it is not made public initially.
Right.
I did ours years ago, and we still haven't made it public because we haven't finished the filing process. So that's not strange at all.
Yeah.
So, to answer your question. So, and I am aware of what he's doing and if he is able to do what he said, it's going to be a beautiful thing for autistic children.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
We should not get too far ahead of him. Let him
Yes,
announce
let
all
him
that.
announce all that if he wants to, but
Yeah.
he's not ready to do that.
It's just not
and
there
that's on
yet.
him.
It's a
It's
lot.
a long process. I remember doing it for our PTO when I was
Mhm.
in the PTO years ago, and it
Yes.
took a really long time. So
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing.
That means it's great.
And when he's ready to speak on it, when it's ready to put out there, I'm sure he'll do that.
And Tammy, we didn't think you were being rude. You said I didn't say anything bad. I was asking. We're just kind of
No, we don't.
We do have a background in that and have some ideas as to why that might
Well-
take a while to be publicized.
Look, I mean, I think it's always okay to be,
Transparent.
well, just verify things. Just check them out. That's okay to question, and we're fine with differing opinions and things like that around here as long as everybody's respectful with each other. That's kind of how we look at that, and just kind of as a reminder, because we do have new people joining us all the time as subscribers or just checking us out for the first time. Just our general approach to this, since we are going to be going through some evidence that may relate to various creators and such, in particular, that our goal when we come out here, as far as other creators go is to not disparage them, not to do
Right.
insults or put downs or just that kind of stuff. That if we, if we're just a typical live stream discussing true crime, we usually just kind of go with, we either say something nice about them or we don't talk about them at all, or or maybe a neutral statement like, oh, this is the source for this or whatever. But we try to stay out of the YouTuber wars and that kind of thing.
We just try to report.
Yeah, and this, of course, is it's a little different now because some of these various YouTubers are going to be getting drug into this.
It's going to be,
As witnesses or sometimes witnesses, and then sometimes as defendants, apparently.
And
there's 52 possible defendants right now, and I would imagine that a good number of them are going to be various influencers that we're
and
familiar
people we
with.
all know. Yeah.
Some that we might like, and some we don't, and such or whatever. But we're going to try to cover it as fairly to everyone as we can, and so that's how we're going to try to approach it, and we're going to try not to. It's going to be, I know it's going to be difficult, but if you can, try to stay away from, insults. Discuss the case, merits of the case, weaknesses, strengths, things like that. But let's just try to stay away from, just disparaging remarks, pointless insults.
Well, I want to answer P's question. P, I am guilty of making the karate video. So, I don't know how we got started
Yes.
talking about it.
Yeah, that was a little afternoon project for.
It got me giggling. I don't know. As soon as I heard that, I was like, that sounds like Ross saying. And actually, Josh from the lab pointed out that I might want to consider one with Jenna from Forrest Gump. So that was something that was mentioned to me.
Oh,
That's a good one too.
But that was similar.
that does. You could do like a 3.
Well,
Maybe. That's a
maybe.
good one.
You know what?
Well, I'll leave it to you.
Well,
I'll leave it to you.
And thank you, CJ. That's very sweet. He says the
Thank you,
East Coast
CJ.
is like the bar cheers. I love
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Yeah, I hope people feel like they can
Norm.
hang out and feel like you're not going to get
Yeah, we don't want
know,
people to get
We
attacked.
want
Get
to feel
attacked
good
here.
place. Yeah, we want to feel good place.
Yeah, we
And-
wanted to be a place where we could be open discussion, theorizing, all just based on facts and logic, and that's kind of the goal. And
Oh,
Thank
let's
you,
see.
Tammy.
Somebody, Fibro and Fabulous says I haven't seen it yet. Well, if we get to 1,000 likes, I'll
I was
play
going to
it.
pull up YouTube and see if
We're only at 469 right now, so
man.
it'll be a while.
may not happen tonight. I don't know. Well, we got another hour or so to go here.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
I'll have
let's
to
get
the baby.
going.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's time
let's
for me
get
to get the
into it.
babies to bed. All right.
Just a couple of thoughts I had before we get into the exhibits. And the first,
CBI Crime says I get to be Norm. LOL. Pour me one. That's funny.
if we could let's start with, if you don't mind to work on this.
Sure.
Well,
What do you want me to do?
let's do exhibit 11,
Oh, I got to pull the
which is
exhibit.
Tony.
Hold on 1 second.
But I've got a few other things I want to go through before we get to that.
Okay,
So
let
that'll
me.
give
Yeah,
you
that'll
some
give
time.
me a minute to get everything.
So I one of the things I wanted to talk about is just kind of what's going on with this RICO thing right now, and it was sort of the attention grabber. It was the big headline for everybody, because it was kind of shocking, I think, to see that. You don't really see these RICO kind of
What number is Tony?
he's 11.
Okay, thanks. Because
Um,
there's a lot.
oh yeah. You don't see RICO very often, and it's how it could apply to this and all of that. But there's been a lot of discussion about it. It's been all very interesting. I mentioned Hindsight earlier, that there's a video that she put on her channel that does a really great description of what RICO is and how it works and why, and how it can apply. And so I've been doing my own research and reading and all that kind of thing on this. And of course, none of us are attorneys. I heard Justin from Clutch and Pearls on his other channel, his Hey Sweet Tea channel, and he said something like, everybody thinks they're a lawyer now. That's kind of what's been going on. But we, of course, we're not attorneys. We just best we can do is just read other attorneys and thoughts of them and see what their opinions are and that kind of thing. But with RICO, my understanding of it, of course, it's enacted in 1970, and The idea of it is it's really meant to protect the victims of these organized rings. And what it tries to do as a law is it tries to take the whole corrupt system out in one fell swoop, because otherwise you're just kind of you're just taking one little piece that's replaceable. So if you think like when maybe like a shop owner was being shaken down for protection money or something like that, and if he didn't pay up, he'd get beat up or whatever. And sure, maybe he could press charges for assault or something along those lines and get the guy put in jail. But that would happen. But then somebody else would just replace him, and the problem wouldn't go away because he wasn't really his uh, he was the victim not of a single individual. He was a victim of a group that could replace its members with ease. And so the idea of the RICO is that once you can establish that there's these patterns of crimes happening within any kind of group, these laws are trying to take them all out and all down at one fell swoop. That's the idea.
And
And
they aren't fileable in every state. Only certain states allow the RICO Act or RICO laws to be filed, which I found very interesting.
I don't, I'm not
Excuse
sure
me,
about
I'm
that.
so
I know
sorry.
that there are 7 states that have their own RICO laws. There are states where you can't file a RICO charge at all.
I don't think so. I think it has to be filed differently, but there are only 7 that have the RICO, their own RICO laws of filing. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
From what-
and so I know Pennsylvania, of course, is one of them. Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Rhode Island, and 2 others I don't remember. Um, but anyway, yeah. So they've got their own to make it easier to actually kind of bring those kind of charges. So that might be part of the reason that they started there in Pennsylvania.
I wanted to real quick. Ginger Bell gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Ginger Bell.
Thank you, Ginger Bell. We appreciate that. So if you're looking at this situation, um, let's say that we nothing's been proven, everything's just alleged right now. So in a lot of ways, all of this is theoretical. They're going to either, if it actually goes to trial or goes to the courts, they're going to have to make their arguments, and we'll see what happens at that point. But let's just say, theoretically speaking, you've got let's say there is some kind of network of people kind of conspiring with each other to target certain individuals for whatever purposes they have. If you've got one YouTuber or something, or a cyber bully, whatever you want to call it, harassing someone. Well, if you press the charges, you get that, then another person just replaces them. So that's kind of the idea. You would remove the whole network of individuals all at once. That's kind of the theory I think that they're going with there. And there's a wide variety of crimes that are alleged. And we don't know how any of this is going to play out. This could go a lot of ways. Um, I hope Nik the Hat was in our chat last time, and he had mentioned that it might be possible that one of the attorneys would come on ours live stream and do maybe Lesniak again. And I'd love to ask him questions about how this all works, because you know a lot of this is a mystery to me. I don't know. But let's just kind of take the big picture view. Um, as of right now, we only really know for certain 2 creators that are facing this, and their response so far, from what I can tell, has been kind of more defiance. That they're not looking to settle at this point. It looks like they're looking, at least from their statements the last few days, that they're looking to fight it. So this may go to some type of hearing, and then from there, a judge will make their decision, and we'll see if they get that preliminary injunction or not. Um, so kind of big picture, what kind of impact does this all have? So one would be if let's say at night, and those plaintiffs, if they all lose, essentially, and this gets kicked out of all 10 courts, um, and the judges don't see that side of it at all. Well, then I think you could kind of guess that it actually might embolden those defendants to think that um, that they're lawful in everything that's been going on, and would embolden them to continue further. Some have even kind of said that they're going to actually ratchet some things up. Uh, or it is possible they could settle. That may be going on now. That's what I'm not a lawyer, but I just reading things online. All of the advice from all it seems like in situations like that with all the attorneys is try to settle first. If you can come to any kind of solution, do it, because and that's for everybody, really. That's from plaintiffs and defendants. Try to find some middle ground. If you can make it happen, then you should be trying to do some kind of mediation. Try to work it out. um and and generally with I mean, that's kind of the way all of life is. The earlier you can negotiate a problem, the better. The further things go, the more invested people get,
Mhm.
and you kind of lose leverage in negotiating. Like when you get that cease and desist letter, you have more leverage as the person that received it at that point than you do now, because now they've put in man hours on this preliminary injunction paperwork, 300 some odd pages of exhibits. Who knows how many hours of legal time that was. Now you're kind of starting to lose leverage, and negotiating is always about leverage. Now, so if you think you're going to win, then um, then you go for it maybe, but everything's expensive. It's expensive on both parties, and if it actually goes to litigation, it could all go on a really long time.
Right. And I think I said that to you earlier. I said, I, I would, you know, I'm not an attorney, but I would think as an attorney, if you felt like that the client did not have the, you know, bankroll to be able to cover it, that they would probably recommend they settle or negotiate a settlement of some sort. That's I don't know. I was just trying to logic it. I don't, I haven't spoken to an attorney or know an attorney, but that was just a thought I had.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember when that John Gotti trial. I mean, I probably some people remember that, but that
Yeah.
seemed to go on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and that was like probably the biggest RICO case that our nation's ever had, was John Gotti and the Gambini crime family thing. It was huge, and it took weeks and weeks and weeks, and I mean, and it was a solid conviction, and that's how they took this crime family down. But it did take a long time in the court system.
And TWY says, can it be fought? It sounds so giant, like there's no way to fight this. That would be up to the attorneys, I would say. It seems it would definitely intimidate me if it were
Yeah.
me.
I mean, if I thought I could come up with a reasonable way to negotiate out, I would negotiate out, I think, rather than go to trial. But that's
But
everybody's got their
everybody
choice.
makes their own choices, right?
Um,
And if they choose to fight it, then that's what they'll do.
Well, and
yeah.
some people are confusing that with what's going on with what we were saying with Betty earlier. So maybe you can explain what the difference in this is. Kelly says, I'm not understanding. Please, someone explain. In the recent filing with BHB is a part they ask that YouTube creators not be able to crowdsource. Why does she get to do that? And I guess that people don't realize that this is two completely separate things.
Well, I'll tell you why. What they're alleging is that there has been fraud through their fundraising, and so what they're asking, they're not
No, you need to not use so many. You need to say
pronouns.
exactly. You're getting it.
Okay. So what?
Like you always tell me.
Yes, yes. So what Lesniak's attorneys, the plaintiffs at night and not everyone, what they are alleging is that Barbecue Lady has engaged in some form of fraud through her crowdfunding, because she was raising money for litigation that didn't exist. That's the nuts and bolts of the allegation. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just the allegation. So when they're getting this injunction is what they're asking for is they want to cease all what they view as illegal activity that has been going on and could go on in the future until this is all settled. So they're asking for relief. Like they're asking for, hey, we want to stop any more harassment. We want to stop any more, um, you know, I don't even remember what the other items are in here, but
there's a lot.
Yeah, I can pull that up, but there's 8 or so different things that they're asking for in relief.
One big thing to distinguish is BHB is a plaintiff in this case. She is not a defendant. The defendants are the people that are being asked to not do the GoFundMes and things.
Yeah.
And BHB is actually doing a GoFundMe for her separate case here in Tennessee.
Right.
For her appeal.
Correct.
That's a completely separate thing. It just, they're law cases, but they're completely separate.
Yeah, I can see how people that aren't quite up on
Sure.
the day to day, it's
confusing. I mean, let's be honest. It's really confusing for a lot of people. We've had to explain it to our own mom a couple times.
Yes.
Right. So, and she follows it every day. She's on top of it. She's a TikToker. You know, she watches the TikTok.
Yeah, so like some of the other things they're asking for are to stop defamation, harassment, dissemination of false information. Let's see some other, or to encourage others to do so. Basically, the crowdsourcing, but that is because part of the issue is they think some fraud has been going on with that, so they want essentially they're asking them to not do that because if they're engaging in fraud now, likely to continue engaging in fraud, and an injunction is trying to put a stop on any future potential illegal activity. So that what the judge, if this goes to a hearing, the judge is going to look at that and decide whether or not that has merit, and either allow them to continue to crowdfund or not. If he suspects that there might be some fraud there, then he'll probably order temporarily for that to not occur. They're supposed to do things like ask their audiences not to harass the plaintiffs, not to make contact, things of that nature. So that's kind of what they're asking for, and so and then you can negotiate. You could try. I mean, you could get your attorney, contact them, and try to see if you can make a deal. If some of these things are unreasonable, there might be some wiggle room. I mean, that's just kind of how
it's really up to the people involved in the case.
We're
just kind of reporting on it.
Yeah. So that's their call. They may feel they have a great strong argument and can fight it and beat it. And that's up to them. But just in general, I think most people kind of think if you can settle early and not have to spend all this money that you may or may not get back, then you could try to do that, but that's totally up to them.
Lady Tit for Tat says BBQ stated she needed the funds for a federal lawyer and that she was being silenced regarding the Sebastian case. She has since edited her GoFundMe description. I haven't read it. I read it the first time and I remember that.
Okay, so did I misstate that? So that she needed funds for a federal lawyer. Oh, and this is a state. Is that what it is? And it's a state.
It could become federal.
Yeah, it has a potential.
Yes.
Yeah. And to our mods, if we do have people being unkind, I'm good with just going ahead and helping them on the way out. So feel free to do that. We are a respectful chat. We try to be respectful to all of the creators that come to visit us. We try to be respectful to all of our people in chat, and just be respectful to each other. If you can't be respectful, you can have a differing opinion. Just be respectful with it, and we'll be good. So, otherwise, you need to go.
Yeah, and then one other. So I've been listening a little bit to the two defendants so far. It's kind of their defense. And one I've heard a good deal that I don't think is going to work for them is that they don't know each other very well. And that's really going to end up being kind of irrelevant because you wouldn't, if they can establish, if they are successful in establishing that there is some kind of criminal group, kind of, some kind of, it doesn't have to be highly organized. There's a lot of ways that it can be a small amount of money. It doesn't even have to be money. You can conspire in crime and have motives like hate or love or religion or status, clout. I mean, lots of things can be motivating within a criminal kind of conspiracy like that. You don't have to be making money, and you don't have to know everyone. You don't have to be in contact with everybody or even be aware of all of the criminal actions of everyone within the group. That's very few criminal organizations would work that way, where what everybody's doing. You just have to be shown to be like a part of it and that it actually exists. And it's a heavy burden of proof, on that federal level, especially, it seems just from what I'm reading, that it takes a lot of work, a good deal of evidence, and and it'll have to take a DA willing, I guess, to do it. I'm not sure all these mechanisms on how that occurs, but my understanding is that if the civil case, um, what could happen is that if the civil case actually happens, where there's hearings and everything, and they're presenting evidence and all of that, by the time you get to the end, what you've essentially done is you've gathered all the evidence and testimony and everything for whoever, what if the federal agencies want to pick it up, or the DA wants to pick it up on, on the state level, then they could, and they can look at that evidence and consider whether they think they can win or not. That's my understanding of how that could work. Lady Tit for Tat says, no, that statement was made when she got a C&D. Why would she need a federal lawyer for that? It was misleading, which is why they're asking her not to be able to fundraise that way anymore. Thank you, Lady Tit for Tat. Anyway, that's just my opinion on how that could work. Another thing I've heard a little bit is the kind of like whataboutism, with, because especially with these things about like harassment and these kind of free speech kind of lines, like where does it border on harassing someone and free speech protected kind of commentary and that kind of thing. And so you'll see a lot of, well, this person said this, and why is it okay for this person? And really, every time I go on YouTube, I think I see people defaming or harassing. There's lots of unlitigated crimes, in my opinion, that I see almost daily in comments and on Twitter and on videos, and people, in my opinion, say all kinds of reckless things out there. But the person that's defamed has to, at a point, make that decision. Has it crossed the line where I'm willing to go fight for this for a couple of years and spend tens of thousands of dollars or whatever the amount is, and maybe not win, and all of that. It's going to court's a headache. No one should really be excited about doing that. So just because people have chosen not to pursue those things in a court doesn't mean that you have to have the willingness. And in this case, you've got to have the attorneys willing to do it. This is a ton of work. I can't imagine. I can't imagine how many hours this was.
And Arctic Wolf Angel has let us know that she has a criminal justice degree, so she might be able to help us answer some of these questions that we're having trouble with. So that'd
be great.
Thank you,
Arctic Wolf. If I've said anything that's kind of out of that's really off at all, please let me know. I do not mind to be corrected if my understanding of something is not accurate.
Tiff said something interesting. She said it cannot be a casual connection to the defendants and the actions against the plaintiffs. It has to be a direct connection to a specific action causing harm or loss. There are no DAs. This case is civil.
This case is, yes. This is a civil.
This case is civil at this time. That does not mean that it cannot be picked up by a DA, though.
And a DA can take it and go with it.
Yes.
That's our understanding, that it's one of the ways you can bring a RICO case to if it'll all depend on the evidence they've got and how convincing their arguments are, and if they think they could win.
Right.
All these attorneys, they want to win, so they'll pick it up if they think it's good for their careers, things like that. Especially those federal prosecutors, they don't like to lose.
And welcome Muscles and Mascara. They just became she just became a YouTube member. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. That's awesome. And then Lady Tit for Tat wanted to know if Dolly got named. He's not one of the current defendants. It is possible he's one of the does, correct?
And there's at least 50.
Yeah.
I haven't heard him named, so not that I'm aware of.
He thinks he could be, but I know that he did have a live last night, and that was the topic of his live, and I believe he has started a GoFundMe for legal defense, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible that things have been filed or people have been served things that we're not aware of.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there might be things, people might have been served and all kinds of things that we just don't know. So I'm not sure, but nothing that I've seen about Dolly at this point.
Oh, that's funny. So, all right. Sorry. I had to jump over here. Don S. had emailed me an idea. Thank you, Don. Appreciate
do you
that.
want?
I can pull up that. I need to put the kids to bed. So I can pull that up and you can
Yeah.
read from my computer.
Yeah, we'll do that if that's okay.
I will tell you what I did do though. I did cut off the beginning because it has Tony's address on it, and I did not want to share that.
Sure.
So I think this is from the evidence file. Let's see. I'm gonna rename this real quick. Okay. So this is from the evidence file, and I'll pull that up for you guys and step away so that why is it not pulling up? I'm sorry, give me 1 second, please. Let's try again. I'm not sure why it gets a little weird. Okay, I'm gonna try again. Actually, you know what? I'll do something different. You guys talk to chat for a second. Give me just
Well,
a second.
Shirley H, which is Mama Bear, said, Mr. East Crimecast, wasn't it the Foots that started this court BS in the first place? It's okay for them to shut people up, but yet it's not okay for this group of plaintiffs to shut people up. And I think that the whole point is it's just gotten out of hand, and it's become what appears to be a network of people doing it, encouraging and doing it. And yes, that they're the first ones to enter into the court proceedings. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are kind of different. But it is, but they both have you could take anyone to court, if you're willing to do it. I always thought it was a mistake on their part. But it won't shock me if there's more lawsuits, countersuits, things of that going back and forth for a while. That won't surprise me one bit. From all parties, because this is because there may be people that want to countersue against them for defamation. I've heard that a few times.
I thought what Car Guy said was interesting. He said once they announce, all 50 people will see how fast the smaller make deals to testify against the leaders. So yeah, there could be some deals made, and people really don't want to be attributed to this group or faction, and we could see lots of deals being made in the future.
Yeah, I would guess you'll see lots of different types of reactions to it.
Yes.
Some people will walk away from it. Some people will fight it. I think you'll probably see a mixture of that, and I don't know what the right strategies are.
You'll have to have Aunt E watch chat for questions and things, and I'll pull this up on my screen so that you can read it. So it's big. Yeah. I am not the number one up here is
just avoid that.
Well, it just basically says Tony Mathis under penalty of perjury, and it states his address. So we're just going to skip that part and let you. And I'm going to go get the kids to bed. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
And Sheila says, honestly, this makes me not want to subscribe to anyone's channel for fear of this. I can see that. I can see you really need to pick and choose who you follow and listen to. I can understand that sentiment. I cannot hear Mr. E anymore. You both are muted.
Oh, sorry. Okay, it's back? Because I'm muted. And I will say too, I think if you're kind, it doesn't really matter who you subscribe to or who you watch or who you're a member of or what you say in chat. As long as you're kind and you're not defamatory, I don't see how a subscriber could get into trouble. It's getting into trouble is saying things that aren't true, right?
I mean, it's a lot of allegations, but I mean, as far you mean from from someone following,
right? That's what she was saying. She doesn't want to follow anybody because of that. And I think as long as you're keeping your nose clean, it doesn't really matter who you follow.
Did you? Yes.
Right.
But but I get it. It's like you don't want to be associated with them. You don't want to follow them because you don't want to. You just don't even want to think about it. And I get that.
Okay, sorry. I will step away. I'm not going to mute So you guys go ahead. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go get well, I'm 26 minutes behind on bedtime.
Sure.
So.
I think as far if you're looking at it from just the perspective of being somebody that consumes or watches various media and such, the time to kind of would just if you're being called to action, like to go and like I mean the most obvious one to me is where you're getting on the phone and you're calling parole officers to try to get an investigator in trouble on a false pretense about him being in Tennessee when he had never been in Tennessee. Like if someone's moving you to real life action, I think from an audience perspective, that's the area you should be cautious is when you're going in that kind of direction. But just viewing and things like that. I don't think that there's any issue with that, or even being a subscriber. Um, I think the creator would be responsible for their content at that point. Would be my opinion.
And someone asked, and I wanted to know if you wanted to address it before you started. They just wanted to know what our opinion of the background of Nik the Hat. And you have addressed that in previous shows, but we haven't talked about it recently. I don't know if you want to address it now or wait till later, but I just wanted to let her know we were going to try to answer that question.
Well, I did a pretty good amount of research on Nik when he came on the scene because I didn't know anything about him. And I was, a lot of folks were kind of like alarm bells about this guy being, whatever, a scammer or whatever, all that kind of stuff, but that's kind of what everybody always says. And so I was like, well, yeah, I want to see what this is all about. And so I spent some time kind of just going through his past, and he's actually kind of hard to research. But we did a whole live on some of the stuff we found. And basically, there's kind of three main phases to his background. He was kind of like a political operative. So if you think almost like a Roger Stone type, where those guys that kind of work in the background that get the dirt on the political opponents and stuff like that, that kind of work. That's the kind of stuff he was doing, and he was very good at that. He was able to and he worked for both Democrat and Republicans at times. He was able to make real change, bringing down various corrupt politicians, having them step down and that kind of thing on both parties as well. Then he kind of went through this phase where he was more of a journalist type, working for like the National Enquirer and his own website and things of that nature. And was part of Jeff Bezos scandal. He was at the heart of that. He was one of the main people that if you remember that affair issue or whatever with the picture that happened years ago, that was Nik in the middle of that. So that was a big moment for his career, I would imagine. And then he started kind of getting more involved in this kind of like crisis management stuff. Like it seems like he's been doing that for about 5 or 6 years for celebrities and politicians. So if you think kind of like some scandal or huge situation happens, this is the kind of guy you call. So he's really had an eclectic, interesting career, but been pretty successful with it. One of the articles I found was Sylvester Stallone had hired him at one point because there was some fake news being written about him, and brought Nik on board to take care of that. And I guess whatever happened with that situation, whatever methods he used, Sylvester Stallone was happy enough with it that part of his deal with him was he gave him several exclusive magazine interviews and that kind of thing. And so, you succeed and you get more work and that kind of thing. And then it started getting more into these criminal elements the last few years with like Cavalcante and others. And this is what his firm kind of does, is what they're doing now is what they're doing for the Sebastian Rogers case. So when people at that point were like, well, this guy's just it's all a con. He doesn't exist. He doesn't have all these credentials. I was like, well, no, he's done some stuff. He's got a background. He's got a track record. So this wasn't just a big hoax. He was a real person with some massive accomplishments. So he was something to take seriously because I knew people were kind of laughing it off. And I was like, no, he's going to get things done. He pushes things to a certain the edge of the law. And back in 2019, he went beyond the law, which he's, of course, that's what most people knew about him, was that he, that situation in Philadelphia where I think it was fake emails and things like this to, um, and he claims that he was protecting a source, and he's got his own side of the story and all of that. But anyway, so that's kind of a little tangent on Nik as far as I could understand him. And I was, looking into the agency. So he's a guy that gets things kind of done, right? And I've heard people refer to him kind of as a fixer.
Right.
And that's kind of accurate. Actually, that is sort of what he is. Whatever, there's not one. It's whatever technique he needs to use, he's going to get it solved. So he's applying. Right now, it appears that what they believe needs to be done is a little lawfare. Um, and I don't know. I don't know what the strategy is. I don't know what the methods are. I don't know what else is going on. Um, but this is just kind of where things are at. So let's get into the Tony evidence here. So this was his sworn statement regarding the harassment and everything that he's received. Before I ever got involved in the search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, life was simple. My wife and I lived a quiet life in Oklahoma where we worked hard and kept to ourselves. We didn't ask for trouble, and we never thought that by trying to help a family find their missing son, we'd be dragged into something so ugly. It all changed on May 1st, 2024, the day I began representing Seth Rogers as his national spokesperson. What I thought was a straightforward act of kindness, helping a father search for his boy, turned into a nightmare. Ever since, we've been living under a dark cloud, facing attacks and accusations that seem to come from every corner. The harassment has been relentless, and it's hard to even recognize the life we used to know. It wasn't long before I realized that some people didn't want this case to be solved. Kate and Chris Proudfoot, Sebastian's mother and stepfather, seemed more interested in discrediting those of us who were trying to help than actually finding Sebastian. They cozied up to a bunch of online personalities, folks I didn't know existed until they started coming after me. I've been accused of all sorts of things, from being a racist to having a criminal past, and these rumors didn't just come out of nowhere. It felt like there was a coordinated effort, with the Proudfoot standing by while these creators did their dirty work. It's hard to believe that people who claim to care about a missing child could turn around and support the very folks who were tearing down those who were trying to help. The harassment took an even darker turn when Barbecue Lady decided to make me her personal target. In a recorded video, she flat out said, "It is my effing mission to take Tony the F down." That wasn't just an offhand remark, it was a promise. And ever since she made it, she's done everything she can to drag my name through the mud. She spread lies about me, accusing me and my wife of infidelity, and even saying we're swingers. It's humiliating, and it's not just me she's trying to hurt, it's my entire family. The more I tried to focus on helping with this search, the more it seemed like these people were determined to make me suffer for it. These attacks aren't just random insults from a stranger online, they're part of a well-planned effort to discredit me and anyone else standing up for Sebastian. Barbecue Ladies admitted, "It's my effing mission, and it's been my little undercover mission. We are up to something." It wasn't just about shutting me up, it was about making sure I couldn't help. There was nothing accidental about it. This was organized, deliberate, and fueled by hate. The Proudfoots may not have been the ones shouting these things from the rooftops, but they stood by while the damage was done, aligning themselves with people who had no problem making up lies to ruin a man's life. It's hard to explain what it feels like to be on the receiving end of all this. I never wanted to be in the spotlight. I'm just a regular guy from Oklahoma who thought he could help a father find his missing son. But these people turned me into a target. They've dragged my name through the dirt and tried to ruin my marriage with vicious lies. The emotional toll has been heavy, and it's not just me who's felt it. My wife has been harassed, and our peace of mind has been shattered. These false accusations and nasty rumors have left us feeling exposed and afraid. It's been months of waking up every day to some new attack, some new effort to tear us down. The creators who have been leading these attacks are more than just a nuisance. They're accomplices in keeping the focus off of finding Sebastian. While the Proudfoots played the role of concerned parents, they allowed these creators to stir the pot and spread lies. It's hard not to see their silence as a form of approval. These creators act like they're just sharing their opinions, but they've taken it to a place where people's lives are being turned upside down. When they spread lies about me, they're not just hurting my reputation, they're hurting the search for a missing boy. And when people who claim to care about that boy work with these creators, it makes me wonder if they're really interested in finding him at all. I didn't ask for any of this. I'm just a man who tried to help. I thought I was doing the right thing, and now my life has been turned inside out. These people have gone out of their way to make sure I pay a price for getting involved, and it's time for someone to put a stop to it. Your Honor, I'm asking for justice, not just for me, but for all of us who have been dragged through the mud by people who should know better. It's time to hold these creators accountable for the damage they've done and the lies they've spread. They didn't just hurt me, they hurt the search for Sebastian, and it's time they face the consequences for it. And so then it cites a bunch of laws and his signature and everything else. And the reason I want to do the statements, my opinion, just looking through everything, if I had to guess, I think the two most convincing pieces of evidence they're going to have are going to be these sworn affidavits by all of the plaintiffs, their stories, and then Barbecue Lady's quotes are really powerful because unless these are all out of context, and I've had a few people tell me that they're not. I don't know much about this person at all, but it looks like an outright admission that he's a target to bringing him down to their mission, that she's working with others, that she's undercover, that there's like a hierarchy at times, and all of that is really just kind of what she's saying in her own words. And so I think the statements and those quotes that she has, unless they're out of context in some way or there's some way to explain them, I think those are going to be the two most troublesome things for the defense. That's just kind of my opinion on it. So that's why I wanted to go through some of those statements, and all of that is clearly true about Tony. He's been absolutely drugged through the mud. And false.
Alex had a question, and she wanted to know what was Granny sent a cease and desist before these allegations.
Yes, she
So
was. I don't know the
this
date.
was all after the cease and desist, right?
Yeah, they got cease and desist, and then I don't know how many days went by, and then I guess they're determined. I mean, they didn't cease or desist that I could tell. It seemed like they were still correct.
Talking to your microphone.
Granny and Barbecue Lady, I assume, were both not really. They weren't negotiating or anything at that point.
No.
I would think that they had to have received the cease and desist in order to have the injunction filed, and not complied with it.
Yeah, they had to not comply in order for this step to be taken.
Right. And then did anybody acknowledge our new member, Lisa?
No, I've been reading for a little bit there.
All right. Well, Lisa became a member. I've got to find it so I can show it.
And I believe Lady Tit for Tat also had a super chat.
Oh, well, welcome, Lisa. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining the Crime Dogs. Let Mr. E have a voice break. His voice the other night after 5.5 hours kind of wore down.
Thank you for hanging with us on that. I know that was a long haul, and some of you had to do it in breaks, I'm sure. But we appreciate it.
And welcome. And then let me see if I can find Lady Tit for. Oh,
I found it. And she was.
Lady Tit.
This was in regards to Nik.
Lady Tit for Tat says he served his time in debt to society. Did he not? Some YouTube creators say the same about themselves. Change behavior is what counts.
Right.
I'm not one of those people gets hung up on anybody's record and stuff like that. I believe in rehabilitation and redemption.
We were talking about that today.
Yeah,
because he enjoys. Because we never really watched Dog the Bounty Hunter before all this, and we just happened to get Sling TV, and he has a network on there, so we've been watching it. And he actually said that today. He said that's my favorite part is how he tries to rehabilitate people.
Yeah, and that was always my favorite part too.
It seems that he's made quite the impact on lots of people. So
he served his time, and it's up to him. How he goes forward, and I absolutely believe in the second chance and even the third and fourth if it's possible. Lots of folks have done terrible things and turned their lives around.
Well, I also wanted to welcome in Busby's Crime Network. Welcome. Nice to see you. Busby's
Thank
always
you, Busby. We
always
appreciate
so
you.
nice to us.
Next, I want to do Exhibit 40. Let's go to Hong.
Okay. All right. 1 second. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry. While I'm doing that, you want to read some chat? It'll take me a minute.
So MB, I don't know if I've seen you here before, but thank you for not stating anything as fact. I don't watch anything about this case, but I am interested in the civil RICO filing, as these cases are rare. It is rare, and this would be. I mean, I don't know if it's ever been applied in quite this way. When you read on these RICOs, they are apparently kind of broad. Obviously, originally they were meant more for the mob, but they've been applied in a lot of different places. And I was looking for just what other kind of cases these have been in. It's everything from white collar crime, FIFA, lots of music industry stuff, and so there's a lot of creative ways that prosecutors have applied these RICO laws in the past. But what I was reading was actually saying the future of RICO is going to be cyber related crimes and environmental crime.
I can see that.
That's what their opinion was. And so it can be applied in a lot of different arenas, and a lot of different crimes fall under it. I mean, it's everything from, theft and money laundering and trafficking of all types. I mean, it can be just tons of stuff. And, one thing I think to keep in mind here too, these two individuals, the allegations made against them might be very different from the other 50. It may not be the same. It might be other types of, because I don't think that Granny's Watching has an allegation of fraud against her. That's specific. It seems to Barbecue Lady right now. Somebody else that's not one of the does, they could have a money laundering or a trafficking, or we don't know what other crimes they are going to allege against those people. It could be anything. So what they're going to try to establish though is this pattern and of criminal activity happening within this group. That's going to be that's what they're going to have to be able to do in a convincing way. And whether they're able to do that or not, I have no idea. It'll be fascinating for people. I think if it gets any traction, it could become a pretty big story for people to follow, because it's just so, it's already got the Sebastian Rogers aspect to it. And then you're talking RICO and 50 some odd people, it's got there's the cyberbullying element to it. Anybody that's online for any period of time has been on the wrong end of that. So there's not going to, it's an issue. It's a social issue. So I could imagine this getting a lot of traction in the news, depending on how far along this goes. Now, it's possible the whole thing could get tossed, or they might come to some kind of agreement before. We don't know what's going to happen. But do you have Hong stuff ready?
I do have it ready. Are you able to read it from there?
Yes, I can make my screen bigger. All right, so this is oh, is this not Hong? Oh no, this is Hong. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I just cut off his address and
Gotcha.
stuff. Yeah.
Good call. On or about August 30th, 2024, I authorized the deployment of At-Night's Rapid Response Team to allocate additional resources at the start of the investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. As managing partner at At-Night, I recognized that the RRT's deployment was necessary due to signs that emerged early on, signals that there were coordinated attempts to interfere with the search. The urgency of the situation grew even more apparent as we saw how certain individuals, especially Barbecue Lady and Granny's Watching, were consistently working to derail efforts to find Sebastian. Reports from Seth Rogers, Sebastian's father, added to the growing list of red flags. He shared how Chris Proudfoot, Sebastian's stepfather, had tried to persuade him to get their story straight about the events leading up to Sebastian's disappearance. This behavior only deepened suspicions that the Proudfoots weren't just uninvolved, but might actually be concealing critical details that could help bring Sebastian home. By September 2nd, 2024, at around 7 a.m., At Night was officially retained to assist in the search and rescue of Sebastian. To tackle this case effectively, I authorized our team to go beyond typical measures. This involved assembling a specialized group composed of civilians, licensed private investigators, and operatives situated across the U.S. We planned for anticipatory aerial support and established search and rescue response funds with surveillance authorized in multiple states. These locations included Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Wisconsin, Virginia, Puerto Rico, Alaska, California, particularly focusing on trafficking by operations, Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, and Oklahoma. At Night entered this agreement with two clear objectives: find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and bring him home, or ensure that anyone responsible for his disappearance would be prosecuted and convicted. We quickly discovered that the search was being undermined by a coordinated smear campaign. Several content creators seemed to have made it their goal to discredit anyone trying to help find Sebastian. These weren't just random individuals. These were known personalities, including Queen Bee, SF Investigates, T-Rev, Dolly Vision, April Chapman, and others who actively spread defamatory narratives online. Their tactics were sophisticated, using tools like bots and phony social media accounts to amplify attacks. They even coordinated with each other to trim videos and take statements out of context, as was done against Andrew Griffin. Bullhorn Betty. Their distorted versions of events were then used to sway court decisions, including a protective order against Bullhorn Betty based on selectively edited footage. Similar methods were used against Nik The Hat, who was forbidden from having any contact with Kate and Chris Proudfoot, despite only having minimal communication with them, most of it being from me or others in the agency. In addition to these incidents, I was involved in group chats with Stephen Fisher and the Proudfoots. One group chat included Fisher and Kate Proudfoot, while another included Fisher and Chris Proudfoot. During these chats, there were discussions related to the case, and I questioned Fisher's claim on social media that he was retained by the Proudfoots. This communication raised concerns, especially given the ongoing efforts to discredit those assisting in the search for Sebastian. On September 7th, at 10:36 p.m., I texted Chris Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, and Stephen Fisher regarding the ongoing situation. A true and correct copy of the group chat with Kate, Chris Proudfoot, and Stephen Fisher is attached here too as Exhibit 1 and incorporated by reference herein. The following day, September 8th, I reached out to Chris Proudfoot again to ask if he would be available on Tuesday for a meeting with Dog and the team. Shortly afterward, at 1:34 p.m., Nik The Hat and I had a call with Mr. I need to scroll up.
Sorry.
I might have gotten lost. Is that too far?
Maybe I went too far.
I had a call. Okay, yeah. Nik The Hat and I had a call with Mr. Proudfoot since the tip line was linked to my phone. A true and correct copy of the conversation history with Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot is attached here too as Exhibit 2 and incorporated by reference herein. I don't remember this. Have you looked at this? This testimony from Hong?
I've read it, yes.
Okay, I might have missed this one. During that call, Mr. Proudfoot stated that he would involve his friends in law enforcement, asked for a moment, and promised to call back. He did call back, but I chose not to answer based on the advice of counsel, as his mention of law enforcement connections made it unsafe to proceed without legal oversight. That same day, I texted Kate Proudfoot and asked if she was afraid of her husband, suggesting that if she wanted to speak privately away from him, she should reply with the number 2 and then delete the text. Attached, a true and correct copy of the conversation with Kate Proudfoot is attached here too. On September 9th, I attempted to contact Mr. Proudfoot twice along with Mr. Chapman, but received a text from him stating not to call back. There was an accidental pocket dial later that day, but no further contact was made. There has been no communication with the Proudfoot since that time. Even Jules the dog handler faced false accusations of posing as a TBI agent. It became evident that the Proudfoots were using legal maneuvers not just to protect themselves, but to undermine the investigation and cast doubt on those genuinely working to find Sebastian. During our investigation, we uncovered financial connections among these content creators and a broader network of individuals who were profiting from spreading misinformation. Yeah, I definitely didn't read this. I must have missed reading this one. Donations through YouTube super chats and subscriptions showed a significant flow of funds, some of which were tied directly to individuals with vested interests and keeping the investigation off track. So this right in here,
Wow.
I just kind of want to absorb that a bit. So during our investigation, we uncovered financial connections among these content creators and a broader network of individuals who were profiting from spreading misinformation. Donations through YouTube super chats and subscriptions showed a significant flow of funds, some of which were directly tied to individuals with vested interests in keeping the investigation off track. Okay. So that you're kind of read between the lines there, right? So for instance, Tony Mathis, who was helping in the search, became a target of Barbecue Lady's wrath as she admitted to wanting to take Tony down. When efforts to discredit him failed, they resorted to accusing Mr. Rogers of heinous acts, even attempting to cast doubt on his alibi for the night of Sebastian's disappearance by claiming cover-ups and fabricated time cards at the county jail. These allegations were baseless and served only to divert attention from the real issues. The tactics used in this case go far beyond ordinary harassment. They represent a well-organized effort to derail the investigation and silence those involved. Evidence suggests a sophisticated attempt to distract, disrupt, and demoralize, spanning state lines and involving numerous content creators, lawyers, and enablers. Adding to the intimidation tactics was an incident at my own home on October 5th, 2024. A white Chevy truck pulled into my concealed driveway around 7:16 p.m., marking the first time in 8 years that such an event occurred. Then he does sequence of events. The truck pulls into my driveway at 7:15. Driver notices the cameras and backs up slightly at 7:16. Then the man exits the vehicle, leaving the truck door open and walks toward the front door. He glances through the garage window. He peers into the dining room window facing the kitchen. The man reaches the front door. He knocks on the door and rings the doorbell. He notices the security camera and leaves. On his way out, he glances again through the dining room window. He checks the garage window once more before driving away. The driver, a middle-aged man in a black Under Armour polo and khaki pants, left his truck door open as he approached my front door. He peered through the windows and appeared to have a MDT, a device often used by law enforcement, mounted inside of the truck. What is an MDT?
Is that a dash cam?
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe somebody in chat knows.
I immediately called 911, and the Pennsylvania State Police arrived shortly after. The trooper reviewed the footage, took a report, and requested that the video be emailed to them for internal review in case other officers received similar calls. We were working under the belief that Sebastian is still alive, and these coordinated efforts to derail the search have done nothing but harm a vulnerable teenage boy. The time wasted on distractions and false accusations has left Sebastian at greater risk. The individuals perpetuating these attacks, whether knowingly or not, are assisting in keeping him hidden or are even enabling those responsible for his disappearance to avoid justice. As part of our investigation, I had access to several phone calls involving Chris Proudfoot, Kate Proudfoot, and Seth Rogers. These conversations were deeply unsettling. Somebody says it's a dash-mounted laptop like Ellie had. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Man, okay. So then in one instance, just days after Sebastian's disappearance, Kate Proudfoot, clearly furious, made harsh remarks about the situation. What followed was even more alarming. Oh, he's talking about listening to video, like audio recordings. Is that what he's saying? Had access to several phone calls. Does he mean like voicemails?
24?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what he's referring to. Had access to several phone calls.
Maybe he was on the call?
Yeah, but it says in one instance, just days after Sebastian's disappearance. So this is days after the 26th. So maybe an old recording. Is that what he's saying? I don't know. So in one instance, just days after Sebastian's disappearance, Kate Proudfoot, clearly furious, made harsh remarks about the situation. What followed was even more alarming. Chris Proudfoot, angrier than I had ever heard, made direct threats against Mr. Rogers and talked about spreading harmful rumors regarding Sebastian.
Oh, my stars.
Okay. So this is just days after Sebastian disappeared. And then on another call I was present for, Chris Proudfoot declared, "You'll never find Sebastian," and warned us to keep away from him, his family, and anyone connected to him. It was unnerving to hear such a statement, especially since Sebastian had gone missing after being last seen with Chris and Katie at dinner the night before. Instead of focusing on finding his stepson, Chris seemed more intent on shutting down any efforts to get closer to the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've heard people talk about this. I don't know what this is. If this about Chris and Katie dinner the night before, I don't know if that's
I think
just
that maybe that's just an error in the statement.
it might be a mistake, or maybe it
Well,
might just be his
well,
understanding.
I was going to say that this is his statement, so it may be the way he understood it, and he might be a
Gotcha.
little confused, or it's something else.
Yeah.
But I think we probably would have heard that prior.
Yeah,
I
don't know. We'll
I
see.
think more alarming though is the thing above that you just read about the having access to phone calls. So obviously maybe recorded calls. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But and obviously the he'll never be found.
Yes.
Yeah. I
So
don't
now
know.
that's 3 witnesses to that, right?
At
Because I
lea-
think Nick and Dog have said this before, I believe.
Yes.
So now there's at least 3 people that have heard that statement.
Oh,
And this
Oh.
is under, of course, penalty of perjury.
look what
Uh,
CJ says.
So CJ from CJ Media says CP told me that I wasn't allowed and couldn't search the neighborhood.
And Jules also had a statement.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I
CP
didn't mean to go ahead.
CP Jules says, Mrs. E, Mr. E's Crimecast, my chain of command was called, my brigade commander. People called them and said I was claiming to be a TBI agent and wanting to go on private property.
Oh, I think that, and thank you for the super chat.
Thank you, Jules.
Sorry that we missed it.
Oh, I'm sorry we missed that. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I knew that either, actually, about the TBI agent thing.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's well, I mean, it's kind of similar to what happened to Nick in a way. People making false reports about people
To
that are
try to
trying
get them in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, that are trying to assist and investigate. It's been a common tactic.
And,
I think
that does show a pattern of trying to obstruct an investigation.
Yes, it does. And yeah, it's not the first time that kind of thing's happened. Was I finished with the Hong part? Was that at the end of that?
I think that was the last one.
Okay.
Tony wanted to made a comment here.
So Tony Mathis says, and then there's this. We have received information that CP was overheard by a neighbor telling Sebastian that he hated him and wished he was dead.
Yeah, I saw that in Justin's the other night.
Yeah.
I was pretty shocked by that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is.
I would think that that information alone would warrant the police investigating more.
Yeah,
That's kind of sad, Lisa. She says this type of stuff's been done for years in true crime cases on YouTube. This is just the first time someone's fighting back. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
We're new to this world. We didn't know it existed a few months ago.
Well,
I going back to that Murdaugh trial that happened with the Murdaugh trial, the YouTubers were insane. It was a crazy, crazy thing, and I only got to really get the tip end of it because I was just looking at the trial overall. But they went nuts when the son was involved in the boat accident prior to the deaths of the other son and wife. So the YouTubers started in on that family immediately after the boat accident, and it did not stop throughout the entire case.
Roller Girl says, I'm new to all this too, but I've never heard about people getting threatened to search for a missing child. I hadn't either.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's hard to believe. I mean, as far as fighting back, one of the things you kind of think about is like, these individuals that are that do YouTube for like a living in this, it's like their career, or they really need that. It's how they support themselves, that they go on every day and stream and do their shows. And it's not massively lucrative. They don't have the bankroll to defend themselves against things like that. So if it weren't for this organization and this kind of support coming out of
Okay.
nowhere, this kind of thing wouldn't happen.
I'm
What?
going to make one more warning. I'm seeing some hateful comments come through. Again, we don't mind differing opinions as long as they are done in a respectful manner. But calling people liars and different things is not going to cut it. We're not going to do that.
I don't like that anyway, because that's a conclusion.
Yeah.
If you can prove it, it's a little different.
Exactly.
So
Just last warning.
That's a brainwashing tactic.
Exactly.
Propaganda, just call someone a liar.
Exactly.
And Trooper's mom said, "Did we see the Channel 2 news? You might have come in later. We'd already showed that." She was just saying this will be national by tomorrow. I think it's already getting there.
Yeah. So this thing with Hong is a lot.
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess somehow I missed reading this. But anyway, that's all. I wonder if they've identified the man in the truck yet. If it was
the video,
there are
video
pictures.
footage, or I thought
know.
there
Well,
was.
okay, with the exhibits, what we have is the PDF. The exhibits have video attached, like they have their own
Links.
from my understanding. No, it's not links. It's my understanding they had to submit drives of some sort, like thumb drives or hard
Right.
drives of some sort with all of the exhibits with the audio or video to go along with it. And what we have is just kind of the flat version with the PDF. We don't have any access to that stuff, which I would say, though, once it, goes further, this will be available to hear ourselves.
So this looks like they're going to actually try to make the allegation that there's money changing hands to influence this kind
Right.
of thing. Because what I'd wondered is if this, what they're calling it the enterprise,
Okay.
because it.
I'm done.
Well, just remove them. I don't
Yeah,
care.
I'm done. I'm just I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not going to have people picking on other people in chat and think they can get away with it. I'm done.
Just don't even mention it. Just remove
Yeah.
them. When nobody needs it.
Yeah.
So
I'm just not fooling with it anymore. What was it?
I didn't see it.
So what I had wondered, just the way they were laying it out before, was this going to be kind of like a situation where it was more like an organization? They were going to try to make the argument this is an organization of individuals that were kind of like group think bullying. Like it's always easier for bullies to gang up on one person and move to a new target, or they had other, but not really with kind of any necessarily financial incentive. But it looks like here what they're going to try to establish is that there's some person with a vested interest in stopping this investigation and smearing Seth, is funneling money through some of these people and making these things happen. I mean, that's really what this is saying. So that might get someone's attention on a federal level, because money crimes are going to be of interest to the feds that way.
Did you say you did have pictures of the creeper?
Yeah, I don't want to show them actually.
Yeah,
if that's
okay. But I think you can go on there and look at them in the filing, can't you?
You can, and I've seen him all over online anyway. I just don't want to until we know who he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. I just didn't know if you had seen it.
If it is an innocent thing, I just don't want to further anything to him until we know.
Right. Exactly.
Right. What's the next exhibit you want me to grab? So that's pretty shocking as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, especially since I guess
is.
I hadn't read that for some reason.
That was probably one of the most shocking.
Yeah,
one
I
to
wasn't
me.
ready for that. Wasn't thinking that way. But this one, let's do Chase and Crime.
Somebody asked if Hong and Nik were the same person. No, they are not the same person.
No. If you watch Nik's YouTube channel, I think the videos are gone now. But Hong, when Nik was doing the thing with the tape, that was Hong. That was stepping in and talking for him.
We have a new member.
So let's do Chase and Crime. That's exhibit 45. Thank you, Mexica.
Mexica.
We appreciate it.
Mexica. That's cute.
Yeah, it is.
That's cute.
Can we
Okay.
do 45 when you're
Sorry.
ready?
You,
That's
you
okay.
talked to chat for a second. I got distracted.
Yeah, I'll go back and exit full screen there so I can see.
45.
Yeah, 45 would be great.
Okay. It takes a bit. Oh, this is all the they can't see this, but this is all the Hong texts.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
got their phone numbers and stuff in there.
So
though.
I would prefer not to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it basically it is the screenshots of the text, and it lays out what he said. Now that part I had seen. So that's all kind of verifiable.
It's
there.
a lot to take in. So it's understandable that you didn't, catch, or even you probably didn't even read that section.
I might have just said, "Oh yeah, we'll read Hong's thing." And
Okay, no, that 45 is not chasing crime. That is Uncle Taco and Uncle Taco's wife.
oh, okay.
I think I told you wrong when you were asking.
Okay. Well then let's do. Want to do BHB at 58?
Sure.
Because we got a few all in a row right there, and and then we'll maybe wrap it up tonight. I don't know. After we
I don't know. I've got my second win now. The coffee's
we
kicked in.
can keep going. I'm all
kidding.
right. I'm all right.
I'm kidding. We'll do whatever. 59.
58 is Betty.
Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, I'll have
Am
to
I
go
mistaken?
back. You know what? It's
There's
kind of.
exhibits like within.
I know.
That's how they do it.
Yeah, I think
It's like
I
subheaders.
got it. I'm just. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. You talk to people. I'll get it set up.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll see what's going on here in chat there.
Okay.
Busby's True Crime Network, but a coffee emoji.
Aw.
Mrs. E likes her coffee.
I do, and what the problem is I drink a lot of coffee to get ready for this stuff, and then what happens is I drink too much coffee, and then I can't go to sleep, and I'll be up for hours. What's going on?
I was just going to highlight Marlena here.
Marlene is one of our wonderful mods.
Yeah, Marlena has. I am begging anyone who has the affidavit and exhibit PDFs to not use the personal information to attack anyone. Please do not stoop to the level of these awful people. Be classy.
Yeah.
Just leave all these people alone. This is all going to be a mess. You do not want to get in the middle of
Absolutely
any of this kind of stuff. You don't want to be a witness. You don't want to be a participant. It is very likely that there's going to be a lot. This is going to be going on for years. You just don't want to get tied up in this stuff. Leave, and just out of civility, leave these people alone in their real lives, all of them, on all sides of it. It's not. There's just nothing good that can come from that. So take a step back on all of that or take a break from YouTube if you're getting this hot about YouTube creators and stuff,
That's a good point. Okay, I think I'm ready. Are you able to read it, or do you need?
Yeah, I can go full screen and see. So this, of course, is Bullhorn Betty, and this declaration outlines the profound harm I have endured due to an organized campaign of harassment, defamation, and intimidation initiated by two individuals, Granny's Watching and Barbecue Lady. This campaign was not an isolated incident. It was a well-coordinated, sustained effort that involved multiple people acting in concert to tarnish my reputation, disrupt my work, and incite fear in every aspect of my life. This was not just an isolated incident. This was a well-coordinated and sustained effort involving multiple people who acted in concert to damage my reputation, disrupt my work, and make me feel unsafe in my own life. I first became aware of Barbecue Lady. Is that who that one is? Am I getting mixed up?
I'll
No,
have a
okay.
look.
Actually, I think that's Granny.
That's the other one.
No,
That's Granny.
Yeah,
okay,
Granny.
sorry.
In 2021, when I was covering the high-profile case of Summer Wells, at that time she was relatively unknown. But as I began reporting on other cases, particularly Quentin Simon's case, her attacks on me became more frequent and malicious. It seemed that as my reach grew, so did her hostility. Granny started using her platform to spread false and defamatory information about me. I would see her rallying her followers to discredit me, questioning my motives and my work, despite the fact that I have always approached every case with sincerity and care. I just want to mention real quick, I saw something else today that with RICO, 5 years is the statute of limitations. So, or whatever that's worth. There are some exceptions to that, but that's the general. It wasn't just casual remarks, but there was a clear pattern. As I began to investigate the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers in March 2024, the attacks against me intensified significantly. I was called a tragedy pimp and a grifter, words that struck me deeply, especially because I have never sought personal gain from the work I do. These false claims were broadcast widely, and they were clearly designed to damage my professional reputation. This wasn't just idle gossip, it was an organized effort to destroy my credibility. Each defamatory statement chipped away at my reputation in the eyes of those who once trusted my integrity. This campaign didn't stop at defamation. Granny and her followers took things further by making false reports about me to law enforcement, which ultimately led to my unjust arrest. I was deeply shaken when I realized that the charges were based on fabricated claims from people under her influence. The level of coordination behind these false reports was terrifying. It wasn't just a random person trying to stir trouble. It was a group effort to disrupt my investigation and discredit my work. Barbecue Lady soon joined forces with Granny. Barbecue Lady echoed and even amplified the false accusations, creating a united front. Their attacks were not only calculated, but also sustained over time. It felt as though they were working in tandem, ensuring that no matter how much I tried to move past the lies, their coordinated efforts would keep. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking. People are asking for At Night's email, and I do not know it.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, let me see. But I did.
You want to work on finding it?
I did.
It's the one to send.
I need a water anyway.
They posted it in their press release. I was trying to get to it and I didn't have enough time.
Yeah, let's go all the way down to 13.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Their behavior has extended well beyond online defamation. Together, they have rallied their followers to participate in a broader conspiracy of harassment and cyber stalking involving multiple online creators who seem to operate under their direction. One of the most frightening aspects of this ordeal has been the doxing. At one point, my home address was posted online. I began receiving messages that made me fear for my safety. The idea that strangers might show up at my home has caused me to live in constant fear. I've had to take extra precautions to protect myself and my family. On or about July 27th, 2023, Burnt Toast, another individual involved in this coordinated effort, posted a comment on X. The post referenced another online creator, Dolly Vision, stating that Dolly Vision would be able to use the lawsuit against me to his advantage by going through my personal texts and details during depositions, attached as Exhibit 1. I guess I didn't catch Dolly Vision in this the first time. Maybe I didn't read these closely enough. I'm not sure. But yeah, so somebody had asked that earlier.
You read for 5.5 hours the other night, so
I might have just
We didn't get into these specifically though, where it has more names.
Yeah. I guess maybe this is where Dolly's getting the idea that he may be in, getting.
Could I ask Auntie, are you able to find? I'm having trouble finding that.
I found one where they were asking for people wanting to work from home. That email address.
That will probably work.
It was as@atnight.agency. So I don't know.
I know there was one they put out for, I don't know.
They did, yeah, they've had a few emails
I know.
out there.
It's just going to take me a minute to find it.
I know. I'm going back through at the original posting because I thought it was on that original one.
I've seen one recently, but I can't think of where I saw it. So anyway, this isn't just internet drama. It has escalated into a campaign of stalking, threats, harassment, much of which is incited by Granny, Barbecue, their associates, and followers. Beyond the emotional toll, these attacks have deeply affected me financially. Granny and Barbecue spread false allegations that I was involved in fraudulent schemes, claiming I had inappropriate relationships with others involved in the investigation, such as Seth Rogers and Tony Mathis. These baseless accusations were meant to undermine my credibility and sabotage my professional work, especially in sensitive, high-profile cases. Also just to keep in mind on this is Pennsylvania, and according to Lesniak, who was on our show a month or two ago, he did detail that this right to your reputation is a thing in Pennsylvania, where it's not necessarily the law of the land in other states. I mean, there may be some other states that have it, but you have a right to your professional and social reputation, and if you are damaging that, then you can you can face some consequences. So, and of course, both of these ladies are in Pennsylvania, and then some of the victims are in Pennsylvania, alleged for all of these.
I did find one that was.
I've got it. I already
the-
put it up.
Was it Tips at Manhunts?
Oh, I just put Nick's from his Twitter, or I mean X account. I'm
On
sure
the
that'll
actual-
he can get it where it needs to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the Sebastian poster they have one too.
Well, thank you for doing that. So, some people who once trusted my work have distanced themselves, no longer willing to be associated with me, of the reputation damage caused by these false narratives. On December 10th, 2023, I received an email from Blank Screen THM. I don't know who this is. That contained a veiled threat saying, "You better hope your backup channel isn't connected to your AdSense account on your main channel. If that gets terminated, that backup channel of yours gets terminated along with it. LOL. Molly learned that the hard way. Your time is up. You just don't realize it yet." This email left me feeling even more vulnerable, knowing that these people were targeting not only my reputation, but also my financial means and livelihood. And yeah, so and then also, I have also endured constant cyber harassment, and the threats against my life and safety have grown more frequent and more severe. I live with the daily anxiety of wondering who might come after me next. Every time I see a new message or post, I feel my heart race, fearing that it could escalate to real world violence. Yeah, so I don't know who that email is. I don't know if that's just like another creator or maybe just a follower or something on someone's channel. I'm not sure who that was. So that's Bullhorn Betty's statement there.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, there is more. Oh, another from this Blank Screen person. So maybe that's an anonymous, I bet. I see you sitting up on your stream yesterday morning trying to blame two creators of bullying you with the intent of making you unalive yourself on a live stream. You're basically saying that BS just to get attention and sympathy from people. This email was another attack on my mental well-being, attempting to dismiss the real pain and harm caused by the harassment. And then that's attached. The most painful part of this is that Barbecue and Granny have used their platforms to build what feels like a cult-like following, a group of people who seem eager to act on their behalf, to spread hate and to cause real tangible harm to me. These attacks have been orchestrated in such a way that it's hard to see this as anything other than a coordinated campaign. On an unknown date, Queen Bee, another prominent figure in the group harassing me, posted a derogatory definition of me on the Urban Dictionary, labeling me a tragedy pimp and using hateful language to diminish my character. This post was yet another layer of public humiliation designed to mock and damage me. Attached here to and labeled Exhibit 4 is a true and correct copy of the defamatory post.
Sorry.
On or about May 8th, 2024, Queen Bee publicly solicited donations for her legal defense fund, stating that the money was needed to stop me from succeeding in my lawsuit against her in Illinois. The actions of Barbecue, Granny, and their network have caused me significant emotional, professional, and financial harm. Their relentless efforts have made it incredibly difficult for me to continue my work, to protect my reputation, and to feel safe in my everyday life. What started as online bullying has now become something much bigger and more dangerous. I live with the constant threat that something worse could happen, and it's taken a tremendous toll on my mental and emotional health. I am prepared to testify under oath to provide detailed accounts of these organized, sustained attacks, including the incitement of harassment, the continuous threats of my life, and the severe emotional and professional harm that I've endured. And then she signs at the bottom.
Pull that down for a minute. Just making sure. We're not, disclosing stuff we shouldn't for your next one.
Yes. So the next one would be the one right after that, actually, Brittany J.
Okay. Let's see. I just want to make sure I skip over that part, the part of their.
I wonder if some of them are going to come up and testify. Would they do that at the preliminary? I don't know. I guess they would. They could.
Did you see Joel's message?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I don't know that we're going over Jules tonight. I think we're going over Brittany and then.
Well, I had her here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. She's later.
I'd like to do Chase and Crime, but I don't know which exhibit that is.
I can find that for you. It's the last one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
okay.
it's the very last one.
Joel said, I'll 10,000% testifying.
Okay. Well, yeah, and Jules is in Pennsylvania also. So, yeah.
Sorry, guys. I just don't want to cut. I don't want to. Okay. Yeah. I'm skipping over the penalty of perjury stuff.
Okay.
And Auntie, also, if our mods aren't able to catch, if there's activity that, you can take care of it too.
Yeah, I think the trolls are kind of amped up.
Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of this. So
We generally don't get a lot of that, actually.
yeah, we don't. So I'm not.
How are we on likes right now?
I don't know. Let me check. Even trolls can enjoy a machete karate party. Let's see. Let's see where we're at.
Somebody said they were 786 or 788.
Oh yeah, we're only at 788, guys.
Got to get 1,000.
It'll make it more special when it happens next time.
Yeah,
we've got enough people to get 1,000.
Yeah, we do. Oh, someone said, TWY said they're at 816. So we only have
less than 200.
That's awesome. Okay. Oh, Seth, you don't need to apologize. You don't need to apologize at all. We handle it our way, and some days I'll be a little bit more forgiving, but when people repeatedly just try to attack other people in chat, it's not even us I worry about. It's the other people in chat that get attacked that I don't care for. So
yeah.
But anyway,
I agree with Tony. Let's quit picking on each other and smash that like button.
Oh, he just wants to see it.
He just wants to see it again.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it hadn't happened sooner, honestly. So, okay, sorry. All right, so Brittany J. And someone was saying that they couldn't understand why it would be a professional document with using the usernames as opposed to the actual names. And I just wanted to clarify that we are using the usernames. We are not. The actual document has their
real names.
Their real names. Yeah.
The two reasons are everybody knows them as their YouTube names, and then I'm trying in a way to err on the side of just not doxing or exposing people to any further harassment on either side of it as much as possible. I messed up a couple of times. I've said Bullhorn Betty's name like 2 or 3 times over the last few months. I don't mean to do it. It's just I'm trying to protect people as much as possible, because obviously there are people that don't know how to manage themselves in society in a civil way. Yeah. There are people that are just all over the place that are just don't know how to act,
See, the thing is, Tony says Mrs. E go out to recess and didn't go out to recess. I can't even speak. Mrs. E didn't go out to recess in school because she don't play. That's hysterical. I think it's funny that you're waiting up to see a video that you've seen several times. So you know the ending, but the ending is worth it. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. Marlene is saying everybody knows BHB's name. It's just I'm just trying to do my I don't know. I just don't want to be any further part of the problem, as much as I can help it, I guess.
Yeah, and there's some bad words in this one, so you need to not
be on high alert.
Be on high alert.
Self-editing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is Brittany J, who has a
I think this was one of the worst ones too. I mean, they're all bad.
Yeah, so I think this is the reason I want to read these is because I think that this is going to be some of the most compelling evidence is this personal testimony, how it's affected their lives, and how this lands on the judge or doesn't, if this impacts them or not, if they're swayed by this. And of course, these are all sworn testimonies, so there's penalty of perjury if you make up things here.
I've seen this a few times tonight, and I just wanted to address it. NJ Robbins says, "Good evening. I saw the filing, but no judges signed it yet. It was my understanding that they were going to have a certain amount of time to comply. Am I wrong about that?"
I don't know. I know they said 20 days or something, but I don't know the process, and I don't know if they've been served yet. They may
Yeah.
or may not have even been served
You
yet.
know, when the 20 days starts, we don't
Yeah.
know if it's after service.
Where are
or-
you from? Says, when is the deadline to comply before it goes to the court doc? I think it was in the original one we read. I said it
think
said 20. I'm assuming
It-
20
it-
business days.
It said 20. Yeah, it did say 20 days, but I don't know if that's 20 days after they get served or not. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
about that.
We're not involved in the case. We're just kind of reading everything.
Yeah, and this is
Um,
out of my
Tony says it has a case number. Yeah.
it does have a
Mhm.
case number. But when it's going to happen next looks like at least 3 weeks from now, probably.
I'm sure there'll be other things
Something
going
like
on.
that.
There'll be, there'll be other things, signing or not signing, or honestly, that's why we were kind of hoping to have Mr. Lesniak on so that we could kind of go over these things
Yeah.
and understand them more clearly.
Yeah, I mean, this
Or
is
someone
complicated.
involved. I mean, I wouldn't mind to have Bruce Castor, one of the top, attorneys in the country as well.
Right,
That
no
wouldn't
doubt,
upset me.
for sure. I
Actually, and Mr. Lesniak is actually just a
He's
super
so
great
nice.
guy.
Yes.
And he's funny too. So I always enjoy that. So
And he gave us a lot of time to go over
Yes.
everything. He's
he
great.
certainly did.
So this is Brittany J's statement here. I am writing this declaration not as a lawyer or someone engaged in a legal dispute, but as a mother and a human being who has endured unimaginable pain, fear, and suffering due to the relentless harassment and defamation perpetrated by Granny's Watching, along with her friends, followers, and cult-like network. What they have done has torn apart not just my professional life, but my personal life as a mother, a daughter, and a person who values kindness, honesty, and peace. I have lost count of the number of times I've woken up in a cold sweat, terrified that someone might follow through on the threats that Granny and her followers have made against me. She didn't just stop at insults or gossip. She looked straight into her camera and told me, "I will make you a effing victim." These words haunt me. It's not just fear for myself. It's the gut-wrenching fear that I may not be able to protect my children. How can I explain to my kids that their mother is being targeted by strangers on the internet, people who seem intent on ruining our lives? I try to hold it together for them, but inside I'm broken.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
There you
The words Granny uses to describe me, a lazy, wasteful piece of S, aren't just casual insults. They cut to the core of my identity as a mother who works hard to give my children the love and stability they deserve. When she says these things publicly in front of thousands of people, I feel the walls of my world closing in. My children have seen me cry because of these things. I try to hide it, but they notice. How can a mother explain that strangers are attacking her, saying horrible things, calling her names, and trying to destroy the life she's worked so hard to build? This most painful part of this has been watching my children ask if they are safe. Granny and her associates have even implied that I neglect or harm my children, saying things like, "You won't ever catch me driving with my children unbuckled standing up." Those comments go beyond personal. They attack my ability to be a good mother. I have spent sleepless nights wondering if someone might actually believe those lies and come after me, or worse, my children. As a mother, there is no greater terror than the thought of your children being hurt because of lies and hate spread by strangers. This campaign of hate has also impacted me financially. Before this started, I was proud of the work I did and I was able to support my family. Now, people who once trusted me no longer want to work with me. The lies, the accusations, the threats, they've destroyed the professional relationships I've worked for years to build. And the worst part is, I'm not just losing business, I'm losing the ability to provide for my children. How am I supposed to rebuild my career when my reputation has been torn apart by people who don't even know me? My mental health has been shattered by this. Every day I wake up with a knot in my stomach, wondering what new attack will come. I'm exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. I feel like I'm constantly walking on eggshells, afraid that one wrong move will lead to more lies, more harassment, more attacks. This anxiety doesn't just affect me, it affects my family. My children have seen me cry more in the past year than I care to admit. I've had to cancel family outings, miss important moments, and withdraw from the people I love because I'm so consumed by the fear and stress of what might happen next. At times, I've broken down completely. I've sat in my car in the driveway of my own home and just cried because I don't know how to protect myself or my family from this kind of hate. I'm a mother just trying to raise my children and do my best for them. I've had to tell my kids why people are saying horrible things about their mom online. I've tried to shield them, but it's impossible when this campaign of hate is so public and so vicious. Your Honor, as I sit here writing this, I'm asking you not as a plaintiff, but as a mother who is desperate to feel safe again. I want to wake up one morning without the fear of what might be said about me or worse, what might be done to me or my family. I just want to live my life, raise my children, and provide for them without this cloud of fear and hatred hanging over me. I am asking for justice, not just for me, but for my children who have seen their mother's spirit broken by the relentless cruelty of strangers. I, Brittany J., am not just fighting to clear my name, but to protect my family from the very real and ongoing threats that this coordinated campaign of harassment has caused. The psychological, emotional, and financial damage has left scars that may never fully heal. I am pleading with this court to recognize the very real harm that these actions have inflicted on me and my children, and to hold those responsible accountable for the destruction they may have caused.
Okay.
And then she
Yeah, her
signs.
name.
Yeah.
I pulled that down while I get the others. Give me just a second. Y'all read chat for a minute.
Okay. So that, so you're kind of getting a variety of statements from people. There are a few content creators and investigators, people, of course, Seth and himself and his spokesperson, Uncle Taco and his wife. I mean, there's a variety of people with statements, and I think with it, and not in kind of similar, but kind of different experiences too. Yeah,
Definitely a theme that running throughout.
yeah, real me too. It's very simple actually. Just stop the bullying, right? It's really that simple. And everyone's supposedly, adults, but the computer screen, it gives everybody this nice feeling of anonymity, and that we all know what the issue is.
Next one you want is Julia.
Yeah, let's do Julia's next.
Do you know what number it is?
It's the next one, so 60.
Okay, perfect.
Need 120 more thumbs up.
So this is this will be Julia Jules, the dog
Can you guys
handler.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes, it went out just for a second. Sorry.
All right.
I can hear you both now.
I am okay. So this is Jules, the dog handler's statement. I am a captain in the United States Army and a resident of Pennsylvania. I live in Mooresville with my family and have committed my career to serving my country with honor and integrity. In March of 2024, I was enlisted as a canine handler due to my national certification through several police-affiliated organizations and academies to assist in the search for a missing 15-year-old autistic boy, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I was contacted by Seth Rogers, Sebastian's biological father, as well as Todd Terrell from the United Cajun Navy. My credentials were forwarded to the TBI and Shelby County Sheriff's Office. They might mean Sumner. I'm not sure. To validate my qualifications and authorize my involvement. My work on the ground alongside Canine Gator was officially documented using the PAC Track application, which is utilized by law enforcement and military agencies to document canine training and exercises via GPS. The PAC Track app cannot be altered and ensures the accurate records of canine operations are maintained. The true and correct copy of Canine Gator's search report showing our work in Tennessee is attached as Exhibit 1. This document confirms my presence and participation in the search. Despite this documented evidence and the confirmation of my credentials by the TBI and SCSO, Granny's Watching used her YouTube platform to spread defamatory, slanderous, and libelous accusations against me, stating falsely that I was a fraudulent canine handler and that I was planting evidence in the search. One specific YouTube thumbnail, currently attached here too, features a photograph of me taken by a licensed photographer, Wise Canine Photography. So Be Frank is clarifying Shelby County would be through Memphis. So yeah, maybe that was accurate. Maybe that was accurate. This photo was used without permission from either the photographer or myself. Both the photographer and I have confirmed that neither of us granted Granny's permission to use the copyrighted photo. Granny used this image to misrepresent and defame me, knowing full well that I did not plant evidence nor commit any wrongdoing. The false accusations Granny made in this video have had serious and far-reaching consequences for my career as an officer in the United States Army holding a top secret clearance. Any accusations against my integrity could jeopardize my military career. Losing my clearance would be detrimental not only to my current career, but to my ability to continue serving my country. The defamatory claims made by Granny and other social media influencers have placed my Department of Defense TS security clearance at risk, leaving my career in jeopardy. Any harm to my clearance could result in the complete derailment of everything I have worked for throughout my professional life. Granny's attacks didn't stop there. She participated in open panel discussions with other creators where my mother, Patty McGann Valenti, was doxxed. These creators displayed her school website where she teaches elementary education, which put her safety and job at risk. Despite knowing this was wrong, Granny allowed this behavior to continue on our platform. Yeah, I don't know if I knew that. I didn't know a lot of this, actually. As a result of the continuous bullying and defamation spread by Granny and other co-bloggers, my mental and emotional health have suffered greatly. I have been diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder due to my active military service, and the ongoing harassment has significantly worsened my condition. My anxiety has increased, and I struggle daily to function, both emotionally and professionally. I have been further victimized by online attacks from other creators, including Queen Bee, JS for Justice, and Illuminati, who have engaged in a coordinated effort to tarnish my reputation and damage my career. These influencers have formed what feels like a cult-like group, inciting their followers to spread lies and create real tangible harm to my life and safety. One of my employers, Scentworks Canine, requested that I remove them from my LinkedIn profile due to the negative attention from these YouTube creators.
Wow.
Oh,
That's terrible.
So yeah, since these attacks began, I have not received any work assignments from them, which has had a significant financial impact on me,
Sure.
especially after purchasing a home in 2023. The financial strain caused by this loss of income has been overwhelming, as I've been unable to secure canine-related work due to the damage done to my reputation. Here's Exhibit 3, another YouTube thumbnail from Granny's video where she falsely attributes a quote to me stating that I tricked YouTube. This statement is entirely untrue, and it has caused significant emotional harm and reputational damage, giving future clients a false impression of my professionalism and ethics. The actions of Granny and, by extension, her cult creator network have gone beyond ordinary disputes. Their coordinated and deliberate efforts have caused severe emotional, professional, and financial harm. These actions demonstrate a well-planned and sustained campaign to destroy my reputation and livelihood. I have been subjected to continuous harassment, with threats to my life and safety, escalating to the point where I now live in fear of what could happen to me or my family. Granny and her network, including Queen Bee and other influencers, have used their platforms to incite their followers to take action against me, causing real measurable harm. I believe that their actions exhibit a pattern of organized behavior that goes beyond individual disagreements or online bullying. This is part of a broader coordinated effort to destroy my reputation, my career, and my well-being. These attacks have not only interfered with my ability to continue my work as a canine handler, but have also left me with a sense of ongoing and imminent danger to my personal safety and professional future. And then I was willing to sign under oath. Okay, I'm fully prepared to testify under oath and provide detailed accounts of the organized and sustained attacks I have endured, including this incitement of harassment, the threats to my life and safety, and the emotional and professional harm I have experienced as a direct result of their actions. And then I ask for your understanding of the damage that has been done to my career and my family's safety. I hope that the court will see the severity of these actions and hold these individuals accountable for the harm they have caused.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, what I just keep thinking, reading these kind of statements like this, it's kind of hard to imagine the judge won't at least allow the preliminary injunction with that. They would just say no.
I mean, there's 300.
Yeah.
What was it?
So my guess, I don't know how things would go at trial, but my guess is going to be that the injunction goes through. I'd be kind of surprised with this much testimony, this much evidence. But you don't know. I mean, it's always up to a judge. But my guess is the judge will find these all these varying stories, compelling, and backed by a variety of evidence on top of
Mhm.
that, text messages and everything else.
Yeah.
Um, the next one's actually Nik the Hat. If we want to do that one, number 61.
Sure.
And Real Me Too said if anyone is being bullied, they need to reach out to Nik. I think they did do a plea for anyone that was also being bullied as a result of being online or doing something regarding this case, to reach out to them.
Yes, they did. I think he said that in the latest video that
Yeah.
they want to try to they want to be aware of it, investigate it, protect people where they can on this.
Okay. I missed what number is this?
I think it's 61.
I must have skipped it by accident. Okay. You keep we had a couple of new members that it would
Oh,
be
okay.
great if you guys acknowledge while I'm
Sure.
looking for this.
Sure. Let me go back and see if I can
You
find
can go
them.
over to the starred ones and it should be at the bottom.
All right. Starred.
And thank you, Mama's World, for your super sticker. That was super cute.
It was we had after Mex Chica, we had another Realm and Spirit Whispers Candle Shop. Wow, that's a cool name. Thank you
Another
for
Realm and
becoming a
Spirit.
member. Yeah, that's pretty funny. And then Samantha Joy, also thank you for becoming a member.
Thank
and
you, Samantha.
Mama's World, thank you for the super sticker. I think that's our last
Great.
3.
Yeah, that
Appreciate
was
that.
it was a cute little avocado.
Thank you
Oh.
so much.
All right. I'm almost there. And you know what? I'll do that real quick. Do a quick welcome to the Crime Dogs. And let Mr. E have a drink of water since he gets a break for a second. All right. And it looks like we're at 9:37.
When I start this one, would you
Wow.
mind to do that for me?
Get you some more water?
Yeah, would you mind?
Absolutely. I don't
And then
mind.
For those of you that haven't seen the karate video, believe me, you're missing out. So we need to get it to 1,000 so we can show it tonight.
I don't know if I've hit like yet.
Oh, don't forget me, Autumn Light. Oh, it didn't show up.
Autumn
Where-
Light. Let's
Where's
see.
Autumn Light?
I don't have her on here.
Here it is.
She way
Welcome,
up-
Autumn. I'm so sorry. I'm going to give you a special welcome to the Crime Dogs, all for you.
Why is hers blue?
I don't know.
It's not green like the others.
I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
weird.
Well, thank you,
Sorry, we
Autumn.
missed
Oh,
you.
whoops, I hit it twice. Sorry. Welcome, Autumn. We appreciate you. Okay. So I am going to go back over here. Let's see.
You know, I don't know if I've seen this discussion here tonight, but I have seen it other places, and just that, how does this help bring Sebastian home? But obviously, people can't just keep getting scared off and attacked professionally every time they come in to assist and look, and in their variety, as investigators or dog handlers or volunteers, or it hinders everything. So it absolutely affects our ability to find Sebastian if he's still out there, and if not, it's the investigators, the work they're doing.
And the other argument I've heard is that if these people, the defendants and the 50 are silenced, that will hurt Sebastian. I've heard that argument as well.
Sure.
And some
just-
people,
I mean,
someone asked earlier too, were the police notified of all of these threats? And I believe the threats were made public. I mean, I believe Seth told he was threatened, the Cajun Army or Cajun Navy. And
well, I believe their police reports in Davidson County.
yeah, but I believe that they were reported.
They went on Nancy Grace and said they got it.
Yes.
So, what I was gonna say though, I had a thought about that, but I just wanted to be clear that this case is not saying that they can't talk about Sebastian. They've never said that you can't talk about Sebastian. I think it's just avoiding these defamatory accusations and right.
Yeah, I don't think it says they can't cover the case,
Right.
even in the settlement stuff. I don't think it says that. Just
And
yeah, I don't think that's
CB,
what they're asking for.
yeah, CB said, yes, free speech does not include defamation, doxing, calling workplaces, and obstructing justice. That's
Right.
where it's going above and beyond
Mhm.
just talking about the case.
Now, the judge could make a ruling that's outside of what they're asking for, because I think the judge has a discretion to even go further than what they're asking.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if he's compelled enough to
That's what
go,
it said, right?
because this is kind of like, hey, this is what we think should happen. The judge can pick and choose what they want, but they're at least from the lawyer's perspective, they're not asking them not to cover the case. At least not by the way I read any of that. They're just asking not to harass, not to have their tell their followers to stop harassing, that kind of stuff,
Well, I am going to open this up for
which
you.
should be reasonable.
I'm going to open this up for you. I think I've covered up any
Sure.
any
Any details?
and then I'll point it that way, and I will
Thank
run
you.
and get you some water.
So I'm trying
Can
to
I get
turn
you
this-
anything else, sir?
No,
I'm
it's
just
just
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do you want?
no, just water's
Okay.
fine. I'm just super
Parched.
all this reading.
Mhm.
So we are on Nik the Hat. So in 2019, I was sentenced to a term of 2 to 4 years for actions taken during my journalism career in Delaware County, where I employed tactics that in hindsight were unconventional and crossed legal boundaries. This period marked a pivotal time in my life and career. From a young age, I was immersed in the world of entertainment and media, starting when I befriended my best friend, Phil, whose father played a key role in founding Live Nation. These early connections exposed me to high pressure and influential environments, shaping my aspirations and career trajectory. While on fully paid administrative leave, with the assurance that my employer, American Media Inc., would cover my legal fees, I resigned from my position on September 18th, 2020. This decision followed the discovery that my direct supervisor had used information I gathered for news purposes to falsely accuse an individual of being the source behind the story of Jeffrey Preston Bezos' scandalous affair, which surfaced in January 2019. And then he includes that letter. Before I was sentenced, I assisted the United States Department of Justice and let's sit this down, Federal Bureau of Investigation in securing critical evidence in the case of United States of America versus Gregory Stefan Jr. So my efforts contributed to gathering essential material for the investigation. A true and correct copy of the email from Nancy Rue, Assistant United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania, is attached. On September 25th, 2024, the FBI arrested Gregory Stefan Jr. and formally charged him with crimes related to the massive fraud. That was just recently.
Wow, it was.
Okay, so I don't know any of this.
So that was after he started with the Sebastian case.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and reread this. All right, so so 3 years prior, a true and correct copy of the charging document for Stefan, dated on or about September 24th, 2024, is attached and incorporated for reference herein. On November 24th, 2019, I entered the courtroom knowing that my career as I had known it was over. I was sentenced to SCI Camp Hill, a maximum security prison, where I spent several months for classification before being transferred to SCI Cole Township, another high security facility. I was the only inmate in the Department of Corrections with a crime as unusual as mine, centered around fake news. Eventually, I was sent to Kiana Boot Camp, a low security facility without gates, which became a profound chapter in my life. It was there that I learned resilience and rediscovered my purpose, overshadowing even the most glamorous experiences I had had in the entertainment industry. The experience was transformative, teaching me the value of hard work, discipline, and a renewed sense of empathy and purpose. It was during this time I embraced the idea that life's unpredictable moments and choices shape who we are, rather than the inevitability of failure or despair. Upon leaving the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections, I emerged with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. However, the defendants in this case have exploited my past to ensure that my reputation precedes me in the worst way possible. They have fueled a narrative designed to isolate me and prevent my meaningful involvement in significant cases, such as the case for a missing child who deserves every chance to be found. I have faced sanctions, been silenced by threats of imprisonment, and subjected to 2 restrictive orders imposed by the Pennsylvania Department of Probation and Parole. These orders were likely based on misinformation and the malicious influence of those propagating this rhetoric. A true and correct copy featuring a thumbnail of one such live stream dedicated to calling my parole office, which garnered approximately 2,300 views and aired on September 11th by Jams TV, which is Dolly Vision, I think, is attached as Exhibit 4 and incorporated by reference herein. In September 2024, I used a boxing glove emoji followed by a skunk emoji, and Granny's Watching immediately claimed that I had threatened to beat her up while concealing my actual comment, which stated, "Threatened you with a lawsuit." A true and correct copy of this evidence is attached here too. Though I do not intend to contest these orders, I hope this litigation will expose the individuals responsible for spreading false claims and orchestrating the ongoing harassment. The rhetoric propagated by these individuals has caused real harm, extending beyond social media smears and legal filings. It has created substantial barriers that prevent me from contributing to the search for a missing child who deserves justice. The defendant's efforts to discredit me only hinder justice for the family involved. Those responsible for spreading harmful misinformation, obstructing my involvement, and jeopardizing this investigation must be held accountable. I am not asking for special treatment or sympathy. I am asking for the opportunity to help bring closure to a family in need, for the truth to be heard, and for justice to prevail. Your Honor, it is no secret that my reputation has suffered within this courthouse. I accept responsibility for my past actions, but I cannot allow these defendants to use that as a weapon to prevent me from assisting and bringing closure to a father who spent nearly a year enduring the uncertainty of his child's fate. The child in question deserves to be found, and the family has a right to seek help from whomever they choose without prejudice. The individuals responsible for spreading misinformation and obstructing the investigation must be held accountable. To make matters worse, this type of attack is not new. We have been working closely with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement concerning an individual not yet named in this litigation. Okay. Although we are withholding this person's identity for now, we anticipate criminal charges will follow soon based on our ongoing communications with law enforcement. I wonder who that is. Anyway, the coordinated malicious attempts to derail justice have become a recurring issue, and now this individual under investigation for criminal acts has become entangled in the ongoing case, necessitating a rapid response from @Night. However, I am currently prohibited from assisting law enforcement agencies without obtaining written express permission through a board action with the Pennsylvania Board of Probation and Parole. As a result, I'm unable to assist law enforcement in their investigation at this time, pending an official request that must now be submitted to the parole board. And then Nik The Hat signs that.
Go back up to that one. I've read it again because I'm like,
Florida?
what? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I just missed some of this before, or maybe I was kind of speed reading.
To make matters worse, this type of attack is not new. We have been working closely with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement concerning an individual not yet named in this litigation. Although we are withholding this person's identity for now, we anticipate criminal charges will follow soon based on the ongoing communication with law enforcement.
And they kind of say it like has become entangled in this ongoing case. Like maybe they weren't. Maybe I don't know who this is.
I don't know. That one I didn't remember reading that one either when I read through those. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people in Florida. Could be a lot of people. May not be a YouTuber even. You know.
Yeah. True. Doesn't say
because
that.
it almost sounds like they're saying became entangled. Like they weren't part of whatever this is,
right?
And then became entangled. It's interesting wording there. I don't know, so I don't know what that'll be. We'll see. And anticipating criminal charges. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out at some point. I suspect. Nik gives updates when he can. It seems like.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I think we've read, other than chasing crime. I don't know. We need to go into all the Uncle Taco stuff exactly, because really, basically, it boils down to, yeah, I think most people at this point have heard this story about there being like this post office FBI agent type at their front door, um, and they basically the Uncle Taco and his wife both signed this affidavit or declaration. I think, you know, that occurred. So all that does for us is confirm that they're at least willing to put that down on as testimony that it actually happened. Because I think there was some question. It's like, well, did this really happen? Is this some kind of made up story? Whatever this event was, they believe that someone posing as an FBI agent was at their door, and that her grandson, I think, was unexpectedly home, and that when this person saw him, the guy kind of scurried off, and there was another person in the car, and they're just not sure what this event was, or what if it was something malicious, or we just don't know. But anyway, that's what all of that is about. But I don't see any reason to kind of go through all of that part of that
Right,
testimony.
right.
But the other interesting would be chasing crime, if we can do that. Did you find the exhibit number for that one? Do you know?
Yeah, I know where it is. I'll find it.
We'll do that one and then maybe be done for the night.
I think that's good.
Does that sound okay?
Yes, I think it sounds good. We're getting really close to 1,000, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. So I think these, this in a way, this almost lays it out more clearly what they're talking about than
I think so too. Than the actual document itself.
Yeah, this gives you the stories behind what they're saying.
All right. Okay.
And I this person, chasing crime, I don't know their content. I think they're primarily been a TikToker, but of course, from what I understand, TikTok's been worse than even YouTube. Is what some people have said, if you can imagine.
And if you need a break, remember Auntie said she'd be happy to read some as well.
I know there's a little completist in me that wants to just.
I know you just want to power through.
I do. I just needed a little more water. Thank you. All right, so let me come back here. Yeah, and somebody was mentioning Dolly, so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yes.
Yeah, CB was saying that that Dolly wasn't mentioned. I guess he is mentioned, but do we know that he's one of the? I guess that would
kind
I
of
don't know. I mean, maybe.
They just say in the initial filing, it just says the name of the does, but there are more specific YouTubers' names mentioned in these affidavits. So
I think he's out on the East Coast somewhere, like Virginia or West Virginia or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Thank you,
So,
Ruby Slippers.
It could be with any of these like new injunctions, because they said there's 9 other states they're going to do. It's possible some of these have been filed and it's just not on our radar yet. We don't know.
Yes, Lady Tit for Tat, it does say Jams TV, but it does. There was another one earlier that mentioned Dolly by name.
Is Jams TV his backup channel or something like that? Or is that the name
that's
of
what it's kind of like his little network that he called it.
Okay.
And Dolly is in Virginia Beach, and that was one of the states that Nick had mentioned in his video.
Yeah. Is Virginia. So maybe so. Okay, so here we have this is Chasing Crime. So she's primarily been a TikToker, but she might have a YouTube account too. I'm not sure. So anyway, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in this declaration regarding the actions of Barbecue Lady, also known as, except as set forth on information and belief, and as to those facts, I'm informed and believe them to be true. If called as a witness in this action, I could and would testify competently and truthfully to such facts under oath. Since April 2024, Barbecue has participated in a coordinated campaign of harassment, slander, defamation, and bullying directed at me and others. Barbecue maintains a private Discord server specifically used to organize efforts to dox individuals and coordinate harassment against them. On February 26, 2024, I began covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. Shortly after, Barbecue also started covering the case, and our platform became a source of significant misinformation. As individuals moved between TikTok live streams, my platform and I had to regularly debunk and correct misinformation.
Sorry.
The situation escalated on April 7th, 2024, when Ocean, who's another TikTok account, and I called out a fraudulent medium. While we did not mention barbecue, she took offense to the correction and misinformation and began her harassment campaign. Following this, barbecue systematically targeted me, Ocean, and anyone associated with my platform for harassment. For example, barbecue would stream my live broadcasts and manipulate the content, distorting the narrative with false and harmful commentary. Additionally, she orchestrated efforts to send her followers into my live streams to report, dox, harass, and troll my broadcasts. Barbecue doxed me, fully aware of my background as a trafficking survivor. After the direct harassment towards me subsided, Barbecue shifted her focus to target a variety of other individuals, including those who were mentally vulnerable. I made it a point to stand up against all forms of bullying and harassment on behalf of these individuals on my platform. In retaliation, Barbecue followers sent me direct messages encouraging me to take my own life while attacking my physical appearance, parenting, sobriety, and relationship status. On multiple occasions, Barbecue and her associates have exploited the loss of my child to bully and harass me. I lost my first child to SIDS on my 28th birthday, an event that caused me great trauma, of which Barbecue is fully aware. They have used this trauma to attack me both in their own live sessions and in the comment sections of mine. One of Barbecue's associates even made posts regarding the loss of my child. Some followers of Barbecue sent direct messages suggesting that I should not mention my grief if I did not want it used against me. During my absence from the platform due to the struggling time, they continued to use this trauma to attack me, both during my absence and upon my return. Additionally, her followers harassed individuals who appeared with me on TikTok, including some of Barbecue's own moderators. Her followers who also harassed individuals who appeared with me on TikTok, including some of Barbecue's own, I think I said that twice. Oh no, it was just repeated twice. Including some of Barbecue's own moderators. After a period of quiet, Tony became involved in the situation. Tony initially appeared on my platform, but later participated in a live stream on Barbecue's platform. When Tony returned to my platform, Barbecue requested that he return to hers, which he declined. Following this, Barbecue claimed that Tony would no longer be allowed on her platform due to messages from others advising against it. However, it is clear that she made this claim only after Tony rejected her request to reappear on her platform. From this point onward, the harassment and bullying against me escalated significantly. Barbecue continued to stream nearly all of my live broadcasts, making harassing comments, twisting my words, and pushing outrageous narratives aimed at discrediting me. On April 17, 2024, while streaming my live broadcast to her followers, Barbecue openly admitted to doxing me. Video evidence of this admission exists on Ocean's YouTube channel. In the video, Barbecue's exact words were, "We just doxed," followed by a pause when she seemed to realize what she had said, after which she claimed, "Doxing is not illegal." Barbecue continued to mock the individuals on my panel who defended me and encouraged her followers to harass me and dox me in the chat. Later, she created a fake account specifically designed to bully me about my past as a trafficking survivor and to mock my trauma. As her followers flooded my chat to harass me, I stated, "Here come her monkeys." In response, Barbecue misrepresented my comment by accusing me of being racist, claiming, "Monkeys? She's racist. That's racist." In the video, it's clear that I was struggling to remember the full phrase, and someone in my chat reminded me that the phrase was "flying monkeys." After April 17th, Barbecue continued to host multiple live streams in which she falsely accused me of being racist and using slurs such as window lickers. I don't know what that is. However, the term window lickers was originally used by one of her own followers in another creator's live stream. I was not present during the live stream where the term was used. On April 29th, 2024, Barbecue responded to a comment on one of her TikTok posts, falsely stating that I had doxed her. The comment said, "I thought you should know Chase is on live doxing you." In response to that comment, Barbecue made a post falsely implying that I had indeed doxed her. This accusation is entirely false, and Barbecue knew it was untrue at the time she made the post. Despite knowing the truth, she encouraged her followers to harass me based on this misinformation. Later, during a live stream hosted by LVM, Barbecue admitted that I had not doxed her and offered an apology in the chat. Even after this admission, Barbecue continued to spread the false claim that I had doxed her, inciting further hatred and harassment from her followers. On May 14, 2024, Seth and Tony appeared on Pascal's YouTube channel, during which Barbecue made numerous defamatory accusations. During this time, Barbecue directed harassing comments toward me, Seth, and Tony, as showed in provided screenshots. An account under the name Christina Miller sent a super chat stating, "Barbecue lady, must be nice you have $10 to spare to start drama on YouTube," referencing an earlier incident involving Barbecue and her daughter's prom dress. Previously, Barbecue had publicly bullied her daughter during a live stream because her prom dress did not fit. Barbecue accused me of being behind the Christina Miller account and hosted multiple live streams accusing me of using the account to harass her. At one point, Barbecue stated that she did not care whether or not it was actually me behind the account, even though her followers had told her otherwise. Despite knowing this, she continued to host live streams accusing me of being involved with the account. During the Pascal show, Barbecue sent multiple super chats making defamatory claims about Seth and Tony. She also falsely told her thousands of followers that Seth and Tony were paying me to participate in the campaign. I have never received compensation in any form for raising awareness or assisting in Sebastian Rogers' case. Barbecue frequently twists facts to construct misleading and false narratives to her followers, who then act on her misleading claims. In the second week of May, Barbecue held live streams accusing Seth of misusing GoFundMe and Cash App donations. Barbecue also bullied Seth, claiming that she had paid for their dinner when they met in Tennessee. Before this meeting, Barbecue had stated on her live stream that she planned to secretly record their interaction. I witnessed her making the statement during a live broadcast. On my own live stream, I explained that it would be unethical to record someone without their knowledge. While she was in Tennessee, Barbecue continued to hold live streams claiming that I and Ocean, who regularly appears on my panel, were downgrading her efforts by only passing out 2 flyers. That night, Barbecue held a live stream that lasted until 3 a.m., harassing Ocean and calling her into the live to confront her. Ocean received a message from Barbecue asking why we were undermining her efforts. Ocean responded, stating that we had never made such comments and warned Miss Barbecue about listening to individuals who might be trying to create drama. Ocean also clarified to Barbecue that we had publicly praised her efforts in Tennessee. Ocean suggested that in the future, Barbecue should reach out directly to us if she had concerns, rather than taking grievances to social media. Despite this, Barbecue went live shortly after and publicly summoned Ocean to reprimand her for allegedly downplaying her contributions. She encouraged her followers to tag Ocean in the live stream so she could reprimand her in front of a wider audience. After returning home, Barbecue continued to hold live streams, falsely claiming that we were disparaging her efforts in Tennessee. She also criticized her meeting with Seth, describing him as weird and belittling the short amount of time they spent together. Barbecue denied that she had ever said she would secretly record Seth, calling it a lie. A week later, in another live stream, Barbecue claimed that Midwest, another creator who was not present in Tennessee, had overheard the entire conversation, referring to Midwest as a fly on the wall. During this time and continuing to the present, Barbecue has held numerous live streams where she has bullied me and made various false accusations. She has publicly discussed my recovery, falsely claiming that I am on meth, and has encouraged her followers to harass me by making references to drug use. Barbecue has also accused me of seeking money and being desperate for funds because I thanked people who sent gifts during my live streams, even gifts as small as 1 cent. As a result, she began calling me chasing pennies, mocking my financial situation. Barbecue told her followers to flood my chat with comments about the chasing pennies narrative she was pushing. She continued to make harassing comments about my finances during her live streams. Barbecue also encouraged her followers to report my live streams so that they could be taken down. Additionally, she instructed her followers to report my videos, including content related to Caleb Harris and Sebastian Rogers' case. Barbecue began making degrading comments about my weight, telling me to get off the couch and calling me a couch potato. She claimed that all I do is sit on the couch and eat, and that I would lose weight if I got up and moved around. Barbecue also falsely stated during a live stream that I had harassment charges against me, which is completely untrue. I have a clean record. Yeah, so that a lot of these things will be tough. She went on to criticize my parenting, falsely claiming that I sleep all day and neglect my child because of my alleged drug use, after I mentioned that I had fallen asleep while putting my 5-year-old autistic son to bed. The constant harassment severely impacted my mental health, forcing me to cancel several live streams intended to raise awareness about Sebastian's case. Barbecue streamed my live content and used it as a platform to continue her bullying campaign against me and others. At one point, an account called Harley Guy entered Barbecue's chat, asking her to stop speaking about their child, prompting Barbecue to instruct her followers to confront the individual. To this day, we do not know who operated the Harley Guy account. However, Barbecue falsely accused Seth of running the account and proceeded to bully and harass the individual, assuming it was Seth. Later, Barbecue falsely accused Tony, Ocean, and myself of operating the Harley Guy account, claiming she had proof of our association with it. The statement is false. We have no knowledge of who owns that account. Man, there's a lot with this lady. During a live stream, Barbecue Tennessee Nurse says, I'm more disappointed in the ones who follow these channels than I am the creators.
No kidding.
I mean, that is actually a part of it. You know, they create the beast themselves, you know. It wouldn't happen if they didn't fund it. During a live stream, Ms. Trudy recorded a phone call with Tony, which is illegal since she resides in a state that requires two-party consent for recording. She accused him of operating both the Harley Guy account and a separate troll page. Additionally, she accused both me and Ocean of being involved in the management of these accounts. Once again, none of the accused have any knowledge of who operates those accounts. Furthermore, in later dates, Barbecue admitted to recording additional calls between herself and Tony. She also recorded, without consent, a phone conversation between herself and an individual known as Dot. This recording was later played live for her followers. Seth had to release a video clarifying that the Harley Guy account was not his, as he does not have a TikTok account. Later, Barbecue falsely accused Tony and me of operating the Harley Guy account. During a live stream, Barbecue recorded a phone call with Tony, accusing him of running with both the Harley Guy account and a separate troll page. She also accused me of being involved in the operation of these accounts. Following this, Barbecue created a troll page called Scuba Diver, which was used to make further false accusations against me, which I will address shortly. In May 2024, I witnessed Barbecue target and harass other domestic DV survivors. During one live stream, Barbecue mocked a DV survivor in front of hundreds of people, making fun of the woman's scar from a DV incident. I'm going to guess or assume that a lot of this is on video.
Yeah,
recorded.
it is.
And
I
it's
was
all
kind
very-
of laughing at a comment.
No,
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Probably
I'm
the same one I saw.
I'm just saying that I'm not seeing the chat right now.
Well,
I'm just wondering how all of this played out in a courtroom.
I mean, it's long.
It is. Do you think we should just?
No, I think that we get the gist of it.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
it was that long.
Yeah.
So
And it sounds like it's a lot of the same things too, or
Yeah.
same types of things, and it's the same theme that
brutal.
runs throughout. Yeah, it's awful.
I mean, it's an
Yeah.
allegation right now. We have to see what happens in court. But if that's all fairly accurate, they've got that video to play in front of a judge.
Wow.
It's going to be in Pennsylvania, where you've got a right to your reputation, and I don't know.
And I kind of feel like
And that's a good question. I believe they were written individually. Alex asked, did the plaintiffs write their own statements, or were they compiled by the team?
I don't know.
we're not. Yeah.
We
I mean,
assume that they initial every statement.
Well, they're
so-
affidavits, so they have to do that with an attorney.
right.
So, I just wanted you to address that.
Love Not War says, this stuff is beyond insane on the back of a missing young man. Extremely sad. I'm disappointed that this once peaceful channel is involved in all of this crap. I thought this was a Sebastian channel.
I don't know that we're involved in it.
We're just
reporting
covering.
on it.
Yeah.
And it sadly it still relates to him and the lack of him being found because this is obstruction of the investigation.
What is unpeaceful about covering a court case?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
We're just reading.
what I was
We're just
saying.
reading the evidence that they're
I
going to
was saying,
present.
do you what was it earlier today that we can cover jaywalking if we want,
Well, if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't understand how this is impacting the investigation into Sebastian Rogers, right now these are of course all allegations. We'll see what happens in court, and what kind of evidence they have. But they are presenting evidence. So if you don't believe it, you can go look at the evidence yourself. It's all in there.
Lady Tit for Tat
Yeah.
says, I'm here for the Malete Bob.
Well,
We-
it's about time.
Are we
Yeah,
there?
We are
we
there.
hit it?
Yes, we are.
All right, and Josh is here. Welcome in, Josh. We're happy to
Hi,
see
Josh.
you. And without further ado,
He came in just for this.
yes,
Yeah.
you know he did. You know he did. And hey, Josh, that you're listening, I'm very much considering adding Janae in. So I need to make it a little longer anyway, since everybody seems to like it
Yeah,
so
we
much. Or
could-
maybe make
It could evolve.
it
The
can
meme
evolve. Exactly.
All right, so yeah, we're well over 1,000, aren't we, on the likes? So yeah, we did it.
Okay.
Well, thank
so-
you for everybody for doing
Yes,
that.
thank you guys so much. That's awesome. So it is officially machete karate time. So without further ado, and I'll play it a few times because you guys deserve it. So
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate,
Machete.
karate,
Machete.
karate,
Machete.
karate.
and the lab says, LOL, Janae, I love you. All right, one
Yeah.
more time. Okay. Let me
Oh no, it's the rule of 3.
I know.
You gotta do 3.
I
It's
know.
like that's the thing.
I'll just do this instead. Just kidding. That's my fave.
You like that better?
I do think that's right.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate,
Machete.
karate,
Machete.
karate,
Machete.
karate.
Okay, one more time.
She also said she was going to bring a machete.
Karate,
Machete.
karate,
Machete.
karate,
Machete.
karate.
It does make me smile.
Well, before we go, do you have Auntie? Do you have any thoughts about any of this that you saw tonight that you wanted to?
No, I
highlight?
think like nothing else I could think of other than, it seems to have a really common theme throughout. And some people said, well, it seems juvenile and it seems like, people complaining, but I think it definitely ties together a theme and also an intent that once you hear each individual story, it kind of starts to hit home as to how intricate and coordinated this could possibly have been.
Right. It goes from kind of like this insult thing, and then it starts to become like where like that chasing crime, where they're trying to take her channel down and stuff like that, where it starts to become truly impactful. It escalates,
It does.
Is what seems to happen. Something else I wanted to mention. Nik mentioned this in his video yesterday, but he also talked about 20 total victims that they're working with, that eventually I guess we'll hear their stories. And I don't know why it didn't click with me, but it's probably because it's not involving Granny or barbecue specifically. It would be other people in these other 9 states. And I have no idea who these other people are. I've not heard anything like this. There were potentially not only 50 other does that are out there, but also 10 other unknown victims or so at this point that we're unaware of.
And thank you, Golden Lily. Golden Lily says, praying for Sebastian, praying for justice.
Absolutely.
And someone also wanted to know again who the last creator was we were talking about.
That was Chasing Crime. And I believe Chasing Crime primarily is on TikTok, but might be moving over to YouTube. So
Yes, maybe has a channel on YouTube already. I think.
yeah,
I think a lot of folks are actually making the move from TikTok.
And one thing we did not address was why they did not have the press conference today and what the status of that is.
it kind of says it in the News 2 video. Didn't it say that? Or am I crazy?
Yeah, he says, I don't know what this was, but something about a marching band. People in the chat were saying this was just a rumor that got kind of out of control, or I don't know, but whatever. Somehow there was this idea that there was going to be a marching band, I guess, showing up at the press conference, maybe as to troll or something. I don't know.
I think to make so much noise that they couldn't project and give out the press conference, basically.
Yeah,
but I think it was a joke.
Yeah, so that's what people in the chat are saying. It was kind of like a joke that kind of got caught fire or whatever, and that. But he also said something along the lines of other security concerns or something along those lanes.
Somebody wanted to know how old Granny was.
Well, it's TN nurse, and she gets priority because she has TN in her title.
Right. And she's not old.
Oh, I believe she's in her 30s. That's my understanding.
We shouldn't.
No. She apologizes. I shouldn't have said that. I really didn't know. So no, I believe she's in her 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Just
sure what.
from
I don't know
just
much
from
about
what
the.
you can see, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is Beth Lewis. See, due to oh, I don't know if that. Yeah, I don't know if that's correct either.
We don't know who was threatening.
We don't know. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. So I
believe
anyway.
after that there were some kind of suspicious message. I believe they said that they were just
that's the
concerned
word
about
you used.
safety. Yes, they were
Suspicious
concerned about
messages and so well anyway, we I don't know when we'll be. Well, we might be doing
our trivia
sometime soon.
Our
Hopefully,
member
we keep
trivia.
promising that. Try to get that in here before Halloween. Hopefully.
Oh yes, for sure. I will work on it hard tomorrow. Hopefully, I can get them in pretty quickly.
Well,
they're already written. They won't take long.
I don't. As far as like things to kind of coming up soon, probably. I don't know if there's any particular dates or anything we're looking at. I mean, obviously, all this court stuff. People are going to continue to have comments and things, and be watching for these other 9 states and where these things drop. Yeah, I think the only ones he mentioned by name were Tennessee and California.
No.
Did he say
No, he mentioned several. He mentioned Virginia, California,
Florida,
maybe
Florida,
Tennessee.
Okay, so
because I was trying to count them out. I was trying to figure out the 10.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize that.
There's a bunch.
Okay.
Right. Busby's asking about the Sebastian vigil. So we said we were going to bring that back up. So let's get that. I'll get that together. Hold on one second. You guys.
So it's actually right around the corner. It's not far away at all.
Right. It's not long. Just right after election. Don't forget to vote. Everybody needs to vote.
That's right. Let's see.
Exercise your right to vote.
There we go. Okay. So there we go. All right. Do you want to read it for everybody once again?
Yes. Let me expand this so I can see.
And Seth Rogers says, I won't give up on bringing Sebastian home, praying for Sebastian to stay strong until we can find him.
We are too, bud.
We are.
Ride and prayer vigil, November 9th, 2 p.m. in honor of Sebastian Rogers. We warmly invite everyone in the community and surrounding to a ride followed by a prayer vigil for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian was last seen on February 25th, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. This is a time to raise awareness, bridge our differences, and embrace the power of prayer. Motorcycles, Jeeps, and all vehicles welcome. Ride, meet at 2 p.m. Kickstands up at 3 p.m. And then the prayer vigil at the conclusion of the ride. This is all at 1188 Cumberland Drive in Clarksville. So there's I know there were people that drove from all over the country last time actually to come in for it.
That's right.
And they did a great job, and I'm sure they'll do a great job again with it here.
That's funny. 4-1 GTO guy says, I already voted for the felon.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good example.
And a lot of people are encouraging you to vote early and go ahead and get your vote in so you don't have to wait. And I know where I live, they're encouraging you to vote early. So if you can do it early.
So, but thank you everybody for being here with us. And I don't know what we'll be doing next time topic wise, but I'm sure there's always a few things that come in.
I mean, something happens every day. It feels
something does. And but thank you so much. We appreciate all the support. Thank you to all of our mods.
And Justice Jane coming in with the Justice Jane is the best. I'm just
Mrs. E loves Justice Jane. No
I
doubt.
do. I love her. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We know you could have been anywhere tonight and you chose to be with us, and we appreciate you. And let's see. if I remember how it's. I feel like I've forgotten how to do all this stuff. I can certainly play them.
Is it laid out different?
No, I don't know. It's just.
Don't forget to keep Sebastian in your prayers and his family as they continue to look for this sweet boy.
That's right. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get it figured out. Here we go.
We remember you. We remember you. Ooh. We're still here for you. We'll shine a light for you. We're holding on to hope for you. We remember you. We remember